Welcome. Another edition of the Lion's Den. We're here on Friday night. So I hope you either getting dressed to go out, coming to stay in, sit back, relax. As it says, grab your drink, light your cigar. The ladies put on that red dress, them high heels. It's about to be showtime. Kanal, my brother, how are you doing? There you. Let me see. There you go.
Sorry about that. I was on mute. Hey, I'm doing well, man. Happy Friday. Happy Good Friday to everyone. I hope everyone has their drink. This is gonna be an interesting topic with topics tonight. So looking forward to having some real discussions, man. And definitely I'm prepared to do some pushback.
Yeah. So tonight we changing up a little bit. Previously, we brought on like one subject and talked about that the entire night. Today, we're going to break it down to three things. So we're going to be talking about some things that's going to make you a little bit upset, or maybe you agree with us. So I don't know how me and Kanal going to mesh with all these topics.
You know what? I think for every topic, we should definitely bring up a panel so we can talk about the topic, then drop them off. And for the next topic, we'll bring another panel up. So
I agree.
That way, we're keeping everyone engaged and the conversation going.
So just so everyone knows, what we're going to talk about is illegal immigration. Do you agree with it? Don't you agree with it? The good, the bad. Then we're going to talk about stepdaddy season. Would you date a single mother? Would you date a mother with children? And then we're going to talk about body count. Does it really matter? Does it matter how many eggplants or peaches you done busted in your lifetime? Or should it matter? So I hope you like these topics. We'll find them interesting. And let's get it started. So the first topic. Well, anything else you want to talk about? I'm sorry. Let me ask about your week, brother. How's your week? How was your week?
You know what? It's all good, man. It's been a long week. You know, I'm back in the gym doing 2 days, getting ready for Mexico City. Working out twice a day now. It's turning 46, man. You start feeling, you start realizing, you know what? You're no longer the young chicken that you thought you were, man. And it's just like you start feeling certain pains that you never felt before, and the laziness actually kicks in even a lot harder as you get older. So I'm just trying to get ready for Mexico City. I purchased a new GoPro. By the way, I purchased the Meta eyewear.
I looked at that, man. I was going to get them. The only bad thing is here's so to all y'all, when I'm creeping on the beach with my glasses on, here's the only thing. It says if you cover up the lens,
correct, it will disable. It will not record. I mean, for me, I'm not planning to do none of that creepy stuff that you guys love to see on YouTube.
Yeah, I do that creepy stuff.
The reason why I got the lenses is that it kind of gives me a different POV in regards to creating content, and plus sometimes I'm not, depending where you are, it's better to have something that's more incognito versus pulling out your phone, because there's certain places you pull out your phone, you may get robbed.
Yeah.
But the glasses, they will never know. So I decided to get the glasses. You encouraged me to actually get it. And I got the new GoPro Hero 12. So I upgraded my last GoPro, gave it to my son, and now I'm taking on the Hero 12. So yeah, this trip to Mexico City is definitely content driven, man. So it's going to be some great new content, new format, and that's it, man. But besides that, overall, it's just been a long week, just getting things up and running.
Yeah, the only drawback is I wish that it recorded longer. So I think you can only do about 60 seconds.
That's all I need. And the thing is, honestly, if you get increments of 60-second footage, you could combine it together to make a full video.
Yeah.
So
that's true. That's true. I love it. So I'm hoping I can get to Mexico with you. We shall see.
Man. Yeah. I mean, right now, Trini, he says he's going. So we see. Trying to get my boy Cassie, my boy Glenn is going. So I'm trying to make this official guys trip. We're gonna hit up all the rooftops, lounges. We're gonna hit up the pyramids, but we're gonna do the hot air balloon pyramid ride. So I definitely want to get that. And man, we're just gonna go out there and have a good time, man. Tacos, burritos, whatever they sell out there, go out there and have a good time, man. So but before we start, man, is any way you could play some music, man? Because we drinking, there's no music, man. I gotta put us in the mood, man.
Music, all right. Let's see.
Because like I said, I'm prepared to push back heavily tonight, man. So I'm good.
I wanted to play some, but I don't know if I can. But we'll wait for that. I think it was the Baby Mama song. Oh wait, hold up, not that one. Here's
that one.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, it seems like everybody's so against Baby Mamas, man. But then again,
is the jazz in there for you?
Yeah, but you can lower it down too loud.
That's gonna be hard for me. I don't know how to do that one. You might have to take control.
I don't have control of your stream.
Oh man. Well, we're gonna have to make our own music. I have to play it in the background, but I'll build it as I'm flying. How about that?
All right, cool. No problem. Let's do this.
Let me see if I go to settings and take it down. So our first topic tonight. We kind of both have went through this in a different way. So not the illegal part, hopefully, but immigration. Immigration. Illegal.
Well, the thing is, I'm speaking from illegal immigration. I actually came into this country in 1978 illegally with my mother. So my mother and I, we came into the U.S. on a boat, similar to how you saw how the Cubans and Haitians came into the country in Florida. I came in the same exact way. So I actually came into this country illegally. So that's why like this whole immigration crisis thing is a sensitive topic for me. I see some good, I see some bad, but definitely want to talk about it.
Man, so you've been a person that came in illegally. You see what's happening at the border.
Your phone is buzzing.
Is it? Nah, I think now it isn't. Is it still buzzing? I think let me turn it off. I'm sorry.
Yeah, put it on silent. Etiquette, man. Etiquette.
Usually I have it on there, but you know how it is. Friday night, everybody want to get in touch with Fearless. Sorry about that, ladies. I'm doing a show. I gotta wait. So let's get back to something serious.
Yeah.
So you came over illegal. What I don't know is, so it's not obvious to me, or some people may know. If you come over illegal, how do you get your papers? So how do you get papers so that you are a legal resident?
Okay, I'm gonna speak from my experience. When I came into this country, it was 1978 with my mother. We actually had to apply for our green card. So by doing that, there was a very strenuous process. I remember my mother and I waiting in line at the immigration office for hours just to get in and get application. And again, back then it was all paperwork. It's not all digital as it is now. So it was a very long process. Like for me, I didn't really get my resident card until I was 8 years old. The process took about 6 or 7 years. Then I didn't become an American citizen until I was 19 years old. So it's a very, at the time, again, this is the 80s, 90s. The process was a lot simpler and not as expensive, but as recently they just increased the price of becoming getting a residency and a green card. I mean, and American citizenship. The cost actually has gone up.
So prior to that, just say you came here, you were illegal. I know that if you're in Florida, there's a ton of jobs the illegal people can do. But
Yeah, man.
how does that work? Where maybe you enroll in school, maybe you need assistance,
Well,
health care.
and the state of Florida, regardless of your illegal status, every child has every right to go to school. So although I'm illegal in the country, I can still go to school. So I still went to school. So I went to grade school, middle school, high school, everything with no issues. My mother had to work odd jobs. I remember my mother working. This is in South Florida. She used to go down to Homestead, one of those big yellow buses to come pick up all the immigrants and take them out
Mhm.
to the farms. And my mother used to work on the strawberry fields. And I remember she used to work, put in 14 hours a day. Like I only saw my mother in the morning when she took me to the bus stop. That's it. I won't see her again until the next morning. So my mother was working those odd jobs, picking up watermelons, picking up strawberries. I remember her knees being all scratched up and stuff like that. And it was just hard, man. Again, she didn't have any papers. So I could relate to what a lot of the Mexicans, Guatemalans, the El Salvadorian people going through because my mother went through it. But this is the 80s.
Yeah.
And but it's just, it's I do understand what they're fighting for because my mother risked her life and my life to come into this country. We came here, we came on a rat boat. The only reason why I was born in Nassau because my mother stopped and had me there. Intentionally, I was supposed to be born in Miami, but she had to stop in Nassau. She stayed there for 6 months. Then 7 months later, she was back on the boat with me coming to South Florida.
I feel for you, sad for you.
Mm-hmm.
I am totally against illegal immigrants.
Right?
Totally. Because I know the process that it takes. I just feel it's unfair, especially if someone who's done it the right way. The process that they have gone through to do it, and the money that they've paid, all of those things to get there, and then somebody can kind of jump in. Not only that, economically, um, schools, even though I know you said you went to school, and that is a right. So here's the things that people don't understand. You, as when you came here, you had a right to an education.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you're illegal. Taxpayers had to pay for that. If you get sick and you go to the emergency room or heart attack, break an arm, they cannot refuse service to you. They still have to do service, healthcare. They don't ask, okay, you got insurance. They worry about that later.
Correct.
So that's the strain on the schooling, the economics. Uh, and then as you'll see, the wave that's coming up now, it's ridiculous. The guys in New York, look, they've been in hotels, breakfast, lunch, dinner, uh, cash, transportation, and they getting helped moved in, moved out.
Well,
It's just crazy, ridiculous because
but
you
you have to,
in the
but
United
okay,
States.
but you have to understand who actually created that opportunity for these immigrants to come in and feel entitled to that because the Democrats promised, made several announcements throughout the years, come to the United States, you'll get this, you'll get that. When 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 my mother and I came into this country, this is during the Reagan era. It was none of that. There was none of that entitlement. We had to literally get everything out of the mud. And I remember living in the projects. I lived in the projects in Miami. I mean, I lived in a drug infested in Miami, in the area of Miami where, dude, the bunch of immigrants were there illegally. If they saw police, they kept their head down because, of course, they didn't want to get arrested. That's how it was back then. But again, now the immigrants coming into this country, they have a whole different mindset compared to the immigrants that came before them.
Man.
The immigrants here now feel entitled because they feel like, hey, this is what's being promoted via social media. During my mom time, there was no social media. Of course, this is I came in 1978. But I didn't really start feeling the whole immigration thing until I was probably 5 years old at the time, because I remember waiting in those long lines outside in the rain, heat with my mother just to see a immigration officer. I remember those days. So again, my mother is, and again, I said this before in the past. I can never speak ill of the United States. I know many people want to talk negative about the United States, call it the Matrix and whatever. This is the only country where my mother came here with nothing and made something out of herself. And that's why a lot of the immigrants, they come here and do very well, because guess what? They're leaving their countries where there's nothing. And they feel like, hey, at least the United States, I have a fighting chance of becoming a better person. And
But
most
here's
countries,
the thing.
go ahead.
You come here, maybe not when you came, but they're coming here now and they're getting a jump start. I want to be illegal. If I can live 7 months a year.
But who's to blame? Who's to blame? I mean, you have to look at your political officers, man. Who's pushing that agenda? It's not the immigrants.
Yeah, I mean, no, the immigrants, but still, it doesn't matter who's pushing it. It doesn't matter who's pushing it. I'm still paying for it.
Because your politicians, the ones you voted into the office,
I voted for Trump, man. Build that wall. That wall.
I mean, it's a very sensitive topic because I understand they're risking their lives. People are literally walking all through Central America, South America to get here to the Texas border. I get it, but they're not being realistic how expensive things are, how hard things are. They just think that the United States is made out of gold. I still have family members that think that you could just come here and get a job. I'm like, I laugh in their face when they say that. Like, you think it's really that easy for you to get a job here in the States? But in their mind, they think they could just find any type of job. But right now, things just not looking good for them, because based on the level of entitlement, the taxpayer dollars is being spent in other places where it should be go towards to the citizens and not the illegals or immigrants, you want to call them. Yeah. But again, I'm kind of on the fence because I was a legal immigrant. I went through the whole entire process. So a little different for me.
Well, let's watch a few shorts. Let's react to them, and maybe they may change your mind, my brother. Let's see.
Come back. We are learning much more about the migrant crisis right here in Chicago. I spoke with Christina Passioni-Zayas, the city's first deputy chief of staff. She gave me insight on how the crisis is impacting the city and the state financially. Already this week, 41 buses have rolled into Chicago, and that means there are now 11,000 migrants living in shelters. 4,000 are still sleeping on police station floors and staying at the airport. Now, this is really startling. 30% of migrants here in Chicago are children. Majority of them are attending Chicago public schools. Right now, the state is footing the bill for what they call temporary housing, apartments and homes that are rented out for migrants. The state is paying on the high end $9,000 in rental assistance over a 6-month period of time. With that comes help moving in and a starter kit to furnish the apartment.
¿Y ustedes ahora mismo están viviendo aquí en Roosevelt Hotel?
Sí, sí.
¿Y ustedes están recibiendo comida?
Sí.
¿Reciben comida?
Claro, comida, dan desayuno, almuerzo y cena.
Desayuno, almuerzo y cena.
Yes. Las habitaciones son cómodas.
¿Y cuánto tiempo lleva aquí en los Estados?
7 meses.
7 meses.
Sí.
¿Y por cuánto tiempo ha estado aquí?
7 meses.
Usted ha estado ahí por 7 meses quedándose.
Sí.
Y es gratis, ¿cierto?
Pues sí, la ayuda del gobierno, de aquí del gobierno de Nueva York.
The help from the government. You can stay in a hotel that's comfortable. Breakfast, it's better than jail. You ain't got to go to jail. You get breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You can go out in the streets. They taking care of, your food, all of that on your dime. Man, here's the sad thing. There are people, this is in Chicago, there's people who are homeless who right outside of those places, who can't get that, who can't find space in the shelter, who can't get breakfast, lunch, and dinner, who can't get a government card like New York is paying them, giving them money to go to the bodegos and all of that to pay for them.
Yeah.
That is unacceptable to me. Unacceptable.
See, and again, shout out to Chicago. I went to graduate school in Chicago. I lived in Chicago for 10 years. Shout out. My 2 boys were born in Chicago. So I'm a Chi-Town resident. It's sad, but Chicago is a very democratic city. And they have these old democratic rules that accommodate to immigrants. And it's kind of sad that they're using taxpayer resources to accommodate people who are not even citizens. Yeah, and again, I know Chicago. Chicago has a serious homeless issue out there. They have a serious mental illness issue due to veterans. out there in Chicago, but they're not being catered to. But yet, all these dollars are being catered to illegals or immigrants, and it's not fair. And I know within the Black community, West Side, South Side, could definitely make better use of those dollars versus being spent at hotel rooms. Again, me being here in this country, my mother never had none of that. My mother had no handouts. She had to literally work out there in them fields, man, 14 hours a day, getting paid penny to the dollars because she didn't have any papers, man. But these one here, the ones coming here, they feel they're entitled, that they deserve this, they need this. I saw a video where a Venezuelan immigrant
Hey,
called
don't worry. That's my next one, brother. You
Oh
gonna see.
man, dude, I was so
You
pissed when I
gonna
saw
see.
that, man. I'm like,
That's the next one up.
if I was there, I would have slapped him.
And here's the sad thing. Here go the sad thing, Fernando. I'm mad at Black people. I'm mad at
They
y'all.
didn't check him. I'm surprised they didn't check.
No, I'm mad. You know why I'm mad at y'all Negroes? Y'all let an immigrant come in and they start to learn the law better than you. And you've been here for 400 years. And they know the law and how to manipulate the law and get the best from the government than you have ever gotten. That's sad that you let somebody. That's, you know how they say you got home field advantage. You got home field advantage and let somebody come into your home and still do better than you, can manipulate the system better than you and navigate. Don't even speak English and know the laws better than you.
To be honest, I don't think it's the people's fault. It's the politician that the people supported it in. I mean, again, Chicago, you got a black mayor that's not putting no interest of the Black residents of that city. There's no interest for them. And when I saw that video, I'm surprised nobody from Chicago, knowing how tough Chicago is, big on gang violence and everything else, nobody come up to him and slap him for saying that.
We're going to play this video. So just to let everybody know, there's something called squatters' rights. So say, for instance, I got a house, I'm fixing it up. Or, you know what, better yet, I go on vacation. I'm in Thailand chilling for 30 days. I come back, I try to open up my lock, somebody in there. Somebody, they done moved in, they done changed the locks. And then me, I wouldn't call the police. Even though we on YouTube, I would not call the police. I do something the ski mask way. But I understand people out there want to do it the legal way. And you know what the legal way gets you? Not in your house. Because they'll fake a document and say that they live there. You can't get them out. You can't kick them out and say they trespassing. You have to go through an eviction rate. There was one place in California where it took them a year to get somebody out of their $1 million house. A year. And then they can destroy it when they leave.
Yeah, they destroyed it. But keep in mind, the squatter situation is happening. Look at the states that this is currently happening. All blue states.
Oh, Florida. Mm-hmm. I mean, they just passed the law to stop it, but it's
because they know Florida people, we're crazy. We're crazy. We'll go in there and shoot. It's like, hey, if I can have my own house, I'm gonna shoot everybody in this house. So it's like Florida folks, that's why they passed that law as soon as possible, because they understand that for Floridians, we just take things far left. But guess what? All these squatter issues is happening in New York, Chicago, California, LA, all blue states, all blue cities. Now imagine you were to take that to Texas, bring that to Georgia, bring that to Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana. Man.
I don't know. They coming in droves. Let's watch this, dude. I want to get some feedback on. It's in Spanish, so understand that it does have subtitles, but let's listen.
Existe una ley que dice que si una casa no está habitada, podemos expropiarla.
Venezuelan national Leonel Moreno said that anyone can seize abandoned and disrepaired homes and lay claim to it, thereby greatly simplifying adverse possession laws. Moreno said he's thinking about making it his business and encouraged his fellow migrants to occupy empty houses.
Y es la única manera que tenemos para no vivir en la calle y no ser una carga pública.
A Venezuelan migrant bragged about living off of U.S. taxpayer money.
Confieso que a mí no me gusta trabajar porque me da alergia. Vivo de los taxes que usted paga al mes.
Leonel Moreno uploaded multiple TikToks encouraging more of his fellow Latinos to come to the U.S.
Y es totalmente falso que las fronteras están cerradas. Las fronteras están abiertas. Capichi, para todas esas personas, muchachos.
The Venezuelan migrant urged his followers to protest to free the Times Square shooter.
Necesitamos pagar la fianza. Pichi, que hoy cometió un error inocentemente, porque es un niño de tan solo 15 años.
What do you think about Leonel Moreno? Is he wrong for encouraging more migrants to come?
America has spoken, and they is not feeling that now. Unfortunately, what people are not realizing is that these migrants, these illegal immigrants, man, they're educating themselves with the laws. So everything that they're doing is completely and totally legal, unfortunately. Americans need to start putting pressure on the politicians, man, to start changing them squatter laws, because the fact that that's even a thing in America blows my mind. It blows my mind. And these people, they, man, law and order, man, that ain't nothing to them. I mean, you heard what he said at the end there. He says, I'm just not trying to be a burden on the public living in the streets. This freaking guy, man. And then they're all encouraging each other to do it, man. There was 2 cases already in New York City, man. This lady just got killed by 2 squatters. And this other lady walked into the home that she was trying to sell. And they were just there chilling, like, yeah, we ain't going nowhere. Cops came and removed them. It's crazy. The owners.
Now I'm going to go down to Mexico, and I'm just going to go in somebody's house and see what happens. See what happens. Or, you know what? I'm going to have another video. The Mexicans, the Guatemalans that try to cross over, oh, they don't let them. They don't let them. You cannot stay in Mexico illegally and be somebody else. Now, the only way they'll let them is if they just going to travel through to get to the United States. But the Mexicans don't let that southern border open. We are fools, man. And here's the thing, like he said, they know the law better than you. They use the law much better than you. He chilling. He said, I don't have to work. I ain't got to work. Y'all paying for me. I got my house, my kid, everything I could want, I got. I don't understand. I can't, somebody said they feel bad. I do not feel bad for them. I do not. There's no way that is crazy to come here. You took all of those miles that you doing in the United States, what you would not do in another country, in your own country. Ridiculous.
And again, there was a video that I saw in Chicago where, a Venezuelan attended a rally where residents were complaining about the whole immigration issues, about resources being transferred over to another area, and this Venezuelan had the gall to say that you black people are lazy. Dude, I mean,
lazy.
No. See, this is where I got a problem. Even though I was not born in this country, I respect the forefathers of the black community have done to pave the way for a lot of immigrants to come in and get the opportunities that they have. For that dude to even say that, I would have slapped the shit out of his ass. I would have gone to jail for that. Just for the culture, I would have gone to jail for that. Because the fact that you could just say that out of your fucking mouth and you don't even speak proper English yet you assume that black folks are lazy, I have a problem with that. That's the same stereotype that a lot of immigrants come into this country thinking that black folks are lazy, they don't do nothing, they don't want any jobs. It's like, bro, before you came here, they were here doing all the work, laying the foundation for you to capitalize. So that's my pushback. Even though I am an immigrant, I still respect what the black community have done to create the opportunity for me and my mother to come into this country as a black immigrant. As a black immigrant, I still had to work hard, but yet they still paved the way for me to get opportunities. So when I hear someone come in, especially an immigrant that does not understand what the sacrifice that the forefathers have done to pave the way for your ass to come here and call them lazy, I take offense to that shit.
Let me ask you a question. You said you were in Chicago, right?
Yep.
So that means you knew about the Chicago Bulls. Who was more popular, Michael Jordan or Scottie Pippen?
Jordan.
So it don't matter how many alley-oops you set up, how much background you do, it's the person who takes the shot that wins. So black people, y'all messed up. Yeah, y'all set the groundwork to get somewhere, but somebody else took the shot. You're not taking the shot. Man, I'm in Texas. I can go so many places, to a taco stand, Mexican restaurant, stores catered just to Fiesta, catered just to Latinos with their food. I can't find that in the black community. I can't find no black grocery store. Maybe some soul food, but that's in the hood. They took the alley-oop. We gave them the alley-oop. They dunked.
Yeah.
Can't be mad at them. We, brothers, hey, they dunked.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a whole different topic by itself. But the fact that, I'm glad that I'm hearing that more Americans are fighting back. They are, complaining to their politicians, but it's a little bit too late. And again, you have to be mindful who you vote into office, and you got to make sure they have their best interest. Because like right now, these cities, New York, LA, Chicago, your mayors don't have your best interest.
No.
And you can see it based on the volume people's coming in and based on the volume of buses that's going to your city. You don't see buses just coming in Atlanta. They ain't playing that crap. Even Florida's like, nope. I mean, Florida's again, Florida's my home, and they just not tolerating certain things. And the whole squatting thing, you're not gonna squat in Texas. You're not gonna squat in somewhere like anywhere in the South. You're not gonna squat. You're gonna squat in New York because New York is all talk. That's the thing about New York. New York is just all talk. But when it's time about that action, man, it's just talk. That's why, like, people in the South, man, we talk that shit, but you best believe we packing. And it's like you come to my house, to my my place of residency. You think you can squat my place? The only police that's gonna come is come carry your body out the house. That's how it is in the South, man. And that's why I always rep the South. But man, the North, the Northeast, Midwest, I don't know, man. They got a lot of catching up to do.
Well, there's a few reasons why. I'm gonna play 2 more videos on immigration and we'll switch topics. This one concerned me because if this was black people or if this was at another border, what would the perception be? If that was some brothers rushing some people, I don't think he would have said get back. They would have shot. So like you said, the arrogance or just how we are treating people who have not even treated our border people with respect. That's just crazy. I don't understand it.
And if you look at the videos, it's majority of men that are coming in.
Yeah, not no single moms.
Based on the recent crimes wave across these cities, there's been a uptick of number of robberies, rape victims due to that. And again, they don't want to put the blame on any particular sources because that may be considered racist or whatever. But man, it's just like, just look at the statistics, look at the numbers, man. And again, you have to be fearful, guys. I understand you're trying to leave the country, but yet you still live here. You got to be concerned about this whole influx of immigrants coming to this country, where they may be taking your job away from you. And when I mean your job, if you're in construction, if you're in landscaping, dude, they'll do your job for the penny at the dollar. Now, if you're in IT or whatever, you have no worries. But for my blue collar workers out there, my plumbers, my welders out there, they could pay, Carlos or Felipe a fraction of that cost versus you paying you because you're part of a union. And trust me, this whole union shit is about to go.
Boy.
They're about to kill that shit. I think within the next 10 years, there will be no unions.
Now, I know I've talked bad about the immigrants, so I'm gonna switch. I'm a fair person. So let's play this one and see if this affects how y'all feel.
U.S. experiment took 6,500 farm jobs that Mexican migrants usually did and offered them exclusively to unemployed Americans. But only 268 people applied, more than half quit a month later, and less than 3% of Americans actually finished the job, while 90% of Mexicans did. And finally, the argument that immigrants unfairly take benefits, well, the OECD found that in most countries, except in those with a large share of older migrants, they contribute more in taxes and social contributions than they receive in individual benefits. And immigrants are also more than twice as likely as natives to start a business, bringing substantial benefits to advanced economies. Think about it. Google, AT&T, Yahoo, SpaceX, WhatsApp, etc., were all founded by immigrants.
So what they're saying is you lazy black people don't want to work. We bring over Mexicans.
They ain't saying that, man. Come on, man.
Hey,
They ain't saying that.
Brother, look, if they
ain't saying that, man. You reaching now. I mean,
look, they say how many Americans? There was 6,500 jobs.
Well, okay.
200 people
let's
applied.
Be realistic
only
here.
3 lasted.
But
bring me Carlos, baby. Bring me Carlos.
Okay, first of all, let's take a step back. Most Americans are never. Today's Americans not built to do that type of work. Let's just be honest. Today, America not meant to be out in the fields. It is what it is. So immigrants are more willing to do the work just to get a check. Americans know their rights. They know, hey, listen.
Do you think that's fair? Because, like you said, your mom had to work in.
Yeah, she had to do it.
No, but I'm saying, do you think that's fair to her? Meaning somebody was able to manipulate and take advantage of her.
You know what? Listen, when immigrants come here, I'm speaking as a former immigrant, we're on survival mode. That's it. We'll do whatever it takes for us to move forward. And that's what it was. My mother had to do bullshit jobs just to put it, make sure we're good. Lucky for her, she was able to find a housekeeping job in Miami Beach at the Fountain Blue, where she was able to actually do something different. But before that housekeeping job, which is still grueling, being a fucking housekeeper in Miami, especially on the beach, is a grueling ass job.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a whole lot better than being out in the fields picking up watermelon and strawberries.
But they probably were paying her minimum wage. They would.
No, bro. My mother was getting paid below minimum wage because she didn't have any papers.
That's what I'm saying. It's not fair, man.
But it's what it is, man. It's what it is. It's just look, and that's why a lot of immigrants' kids do very well, because they watch their parents work hard. I watched my mother work 2 jobs, barely saw her, but she made sure all 6 of her kids went to college. We all make 6 figures now. My mother was retired. My mother been retired for damn 20 years already. So
do you think that struggle of the illegal immigrants make them better than you think we got lazy? You think we got lazy, man? Just be honest.
We as an American people have gotten lazy. As Americans, we've gotten lazy. I'm not saying any particular race or group within America. As Americans, we've gotten lazy. Immigrants coming here to work and understand, like, listen, at the end of the day, we got to survive. And guess what? Their kids are watching them work hard. And guess what the kids are saying? I would never do that. And guess what? What are the key fields that most immigrants get into? Engineering, medical, and law. That was preached to do. That was ingrained in my head since I was a kid. You don't anything less than those 3 professions, you're a failure.
So why? But are black people ingrained in that kid? Are they saying you can be the next Michael Jordan?
See, you making it a race thing.
You can be 50 Cent, man. 50 Cent. Why go to school when you can be 50 Cent?
Again, you're making it as a race thing. I'm speaking more towards Americans. You calling out black folks. You calling them out. I'm not calling them out. All I'm saying,
afraid, man.
I'm not being afraid. I'm speaking facts in general. Most Americans are not built to work out in the fields now. They're not. And most Americans understand that, hey, you know what? I can find a better job that pays me more to do less. So guess what? Immigrants will come here and do the jobs that you won't do.
But when you say not built, what does not built mean?
They're not designed in today's time to do today's work. So you want them to go out to the field and pick up watermelons.
What is designed to a Haitian person and an American person?
A Haitian person, okay. A Haitian person coming to this country today, right now from Haiti, will do whatever. He'll do whatever, because guess what? In Haiti's so fucked up right now. He's happy just to get any type of money. Right now, the average daily pay in Haiti is $2 a day. If he comes here and the job say, you know what, we'll pay you $50 for the day, he'll be happy with that.
So, brother, if he was getting paid $5 an hour, $7 an hour, you know what he gonna say? I ain't taking that job. I ain't flipping no burgers. What you think this is, man?
I disagree because even now, if you go to the Waffle House, if you go to some of these Burger King late nights, you see grown adults working in these restaurants, not teenagers. So guess what? They do whatever it takes for them to put food on the table. I disagree. So I'm gonna push back on that because I see a lot of grown men and women working these restaurant fast food jobs late at night because guess what? They got to do what they got to do. I'm not gonna put them into that category. Nah, that's not me. So that's my pushback towards you, man. Nah.
All right, panel. We want to. I put the StreamYard in the chat. We want to hear from you. So we're bringing people on. We want to get some different opinions. Who's wrong? Who's right? Are you brothers lazy, or is it just America? What's up?
It's America, guys. America's gotten lazy, especially now with social media. Dude, there has been a study that showed that the next generation of kids have no desires of becoming doctors, lawyers, or engineers. They want to be social media content creators.
Or OnlyFans. Yeah, you can do OnlyFans.
Oh, now OnlyFans, man. Come on.
Yeah. You do OnlyFans, man. That's easy. You know. Why
I
not
worked
do that?
at Taco Bell. Hey, listen, I worked at Taco Bell. I worked at Burger King. Man, I did all type of jobs. I was a security bouncer in Miami. Dude, I did all type of jobs. But now you would never think that based on my current position.
Brother, I was just like a Haitian. My first job was at a nursery, man. I was planting flowers. I was 14. That's the only people that would hire me. I was planting flowers and proud of it. I got me a bike out of that, man. Shoot, I wasn't mad.
So I mean,
let's bring up, I think Maya. She may be an illegal immigrant. We don't know. I ain't checked her papers yet. let's bring her to the stage and see if she's going to agree with senseless or she's going to agree with black man travels. How you doing, Maya? Welcome to the chat. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hey, yeah, so it's not about you being senseless, obviously. And of course I'm gonna go with Kanal. I mean, I agree with both of you because for the simple fact that it's not a problem with you being an immigrant and coming to the country because I do understand the detriment that people experience in other countries because of poverty and war and things of that nature and poor healthcare. But it's also one of those things that when in Rome, do what the Romans do. If you're going to come here, work, give something to the country, and provide. I can't just wash up in Costa Rica or another country and say, hey, I just want to live here and they're going to give me benefits like Section 8 and food stamps and Medicaid and Medicare, and I'm able to get ahead.
So do you work? You work, right?
Of course I work.
All right. And you look at that, your paycheck, when you worked and you made $1,000 and you say, man, hold up, I just had to pay the government almost half my paycheck. I walked home with $550. All them taxes that you spending, you saying it don't matter, but somebody paying for that school that them kids go to, somebody paying for that hotel, somebody paying for that Medicare, where you might have to pay health insurance just, to me, I remember when I was growing up and just getting my jobs, I was like, bro, it ain't even this. I might be sick. My finger might be broke. I ain't got the money to go. I can't afford it. Maybe it'll heal itself. Compared to somebody can say, I can just go free and get the medical care. You think that's fair? You think that that's good to have your tax dollars coming out your paycheck that you work hard for that somebody else didn't have to work hard for?
No, I'm not saying that it's fair. At the same time, I do empathize with people that's leaving countries and coming somewhere else to create a better life. But if you're not coming to create a better life and you're doing what the guy did in the video where he's bragging about, being a squatter, but I mean, you got Americans that's squatting too. They say that this is the land of the free and in America is a dream, but it's probably better than where they came from. But at the same time, it's hustle and bustle. So it's a catch-22 to the whole thing.
So let me ask you a question. Did you go? I don't know if you went to college, but let's say you went to high school. Did you go to college? Let me ask.
I did go to college.
So what if you were like studying every day? You studying hard, and then somebody just cheats and they get an A. How you feel about that?
I mean, that's just the way it is.
So you cool with that person passing, cheating every day? Now he cheating. He looks like he got an A, and he gets the good job because he got an A, and you got them C's, but you've been struggling.
Yeah, well, that's what typically happens, and then you also have to take in consideration that you have a lot of these immigrants that's getting incentives for being here. They're getting incentives for taking the lower paying jobs. You know,
So,
they're getting incentives for all of those. I'm not saying that it's fair. I don't agree with it, but that's just the current climate that we're in.
so imagine this. I'm in another country. I did everything correctly. I went to immigration. I filed my paperwork. I did it all right. And you cheated and just came across the border and got everything you wanted. Is that fair?
No, it's not fair.
Then why don't we just deport every illegal back? And they say, oh, you can't deport them because they got families. But let me ask you a question. You got a daughter. What if you went out and committed a crime? Do you think they're gonna say, well, we can't put her in jail? You know, even though she stabbed that girl and robbed them, we can't put her in jail because she
I
got a
don't.
family.
But I'm not agreeing and I'm not disagreeing. I'm kind of like on if you're going to be an immigrant and you're coming here to do the right thing, then I agree with it. If you're an immigrant and you coming and you robbing, stealing, cheating, killing, and all that
But
kind of
they're
stuff, I
not
don't
doing the
agree
right
with.
thing by coming here illegally.
Yeah,
They've already set it up where they're not doing the
coming
right
here,
thing.
coming here illegally is wrong because, like I stated, I can't wash up to another country and just be there. This country wants to know who I am,
Mhm.
what I do, and what am I contributing to their country.
Correct. So it doesn't matter that they came here and didn't do a crime, but the initial crime was coming here illegally.
True enough, however, I do understand people leaving their current situations because of poverty and lesser opportunities, which this ties into a lot of different conversations.
But that's like saying, I understand you was mad at your boyfriend and flattened his tires. Okay, I understand it, but you still got to be punished for it. Understanding and punishment is two different things.
But I could flat his tires and still get away with it if the police don't catch me.
So we should just let it go. Nobody should investigate.
It might not be investigated. It's a lot of things that don't get investigated. We don't live in a cookie cutter lifestyle.
So you think as long as they don't do nothing wrong, they should be here?
Yeah.
If they
I
work,
work hard.
if they work for it, if they work for it and they put themselves in the proper position to provide and to do the right thing for the economy.
Okay, so I'm a drug dealer. I work for it. I'm working hard. I provide. I give up money out to my chicks. Is that fair?
Right, but there's also adults that consent to wanting to do drugs. It's adults that consult to wanting to do lines of coke all day. There's adults that want to drink all day. There's adults that want to do fentanyl all day. There's adults that it's a that's what they want to do.
Okay, is that right? So you all right with prostitution being in front of your house with some brothers on the corner slinging in front of your house?
I don't want nobody in front of my house
See,
prostituting. You can
there
go
you go.
wherever
That's
you
the
need to
problem.
go.
That's the problem. Immigration is cool, and all that is cool as long as it ain't on your front door. See,
But it
I'm
is
an
at our
American.
but it's at
I
our
don't
but
want
it's
it
at
in
but
nobody's front door.
it's at all of our front doors because just like the conversation was going to where there's people that are going to do the jobs for a lot lesser than what Americans are willing to do it for. And is that fair? No, but somebody's got to do it.
No, what? No, no, no. What happens is if I'm in a position where I can pay somebody less, I pay somebody less. That's not right. That's me as an employer using the system illegally to hire some people illegally to take advantage of them. That's not right.
But this goes back
Because if
to the
we put them
conversation
out,
about y'all dating overseas. Y'all want women that is cheaper to take care of and cheaper to give to than it is to somebody in America. It's about economics, right?
no,
Money
I'm not
talks,
going over there.
bullshit walks, right?
No, 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 no. The
Money
thing is,
talks,
we go over
bullshit
there for
walks,
the
right?
attitude. And attitude, not for the money.
Money
Attitude.
talks, bullshit walks, right?
We go
It's
there
not
for the
about
attitude.
attitude.
We don't
Money
like the
talks, bullshit
attitude.
walks, right?
No, we don't like the attitude. I keep saying the same thing, but you keep
It's not
changing.
about attitude.
Guys,
Let's be for
guys,
real.
guys, we got to bring it back.
Don't worry,
We got to
don't
bring it
worry,
back.
Maya. We gonna. I don't want to get off subject. We got
Bring
something
the
for you,
conversation.
baby daddies and body count. Don't worry. I'm gonna bring you back up. Let me bring the next caller.
Don't bring
Baby
me
daddies
back
and
up.
body count. Stay on because I want to hear your opinion. All right.
Bye.
All right. Buck, how you doing?
Oh damn! You let go of her? I was about to ask her a question.
Oh, I'm sorry. We'll bring him in at the end to ask her a question.
Hey
Go
guys,
ahead and ask.
hey,
Maya
guys,
will finish the
guys,
comment.
stay on topic.
I'm just
Stay
not
on topic.
into the panel, but I just want to ask her that because I know in the previous lives she said, "Okay, hey, I can get."
Hey, I gotta stop it. Stay on topic. We're not talking about anything that happened last week. Stay on topic. We're talking about illegal immigrants invading America. That's the topic. So if it's not the topic, you can come back another.
That's political. So I kind of. Oh, that's a touchy topic, man. It's
but it's funny, hold on. It's funny that a lot of people say that's a touchy topic, but yet you guys will talk about pussy and paying for pussy all over YouTube like it ain't nothing. But yeah, when they talk about politicians and stuff, that's a sensitive topic. That shit kills me, man.
That's,
like,
that's a good point, man.
you guys will talk about paying for pussy and all this other crap on these YouTube channels. But then, yeah, when you talk about some real issue, oh, that's sensitive.
Yeah,
Buck wants them illegal immigrants because he think he can get a better price when they come over here. He's like, oh man, that chick from Venezuela, maybe I can pay her a little bit less, keep her in the stay in the United States. Is that what it is, Buck? Buck done left. Buck want the illegal immigrants for the wrong reason. He's trying to get that cheap labor in the bedroom. But that's not what we talking about tonight, brother.
My thing is this, guys. If you guys could talk about all these crazy shit about black women and all these other crap, but yeah, we're talking about some real life issues that's happening in real time. If that's considered as a sensitive topic, yeah, you guys could have these long streams talking about paying for ass in different countries, or whatever. Hey, that speaks volume. That's all I'm saying.
All right, we're going to end this with this. I'm going to bring Maya back. She has one more question, and then we're going to move on to Step Baby Daddy. Oh, maybe she left. I'm sorry, Maya. I was bringing you back. So we're going to talk about, man,
there's some interesting comments in here. I'm not sure if you want to read it out or.
Well, this is what we're doing, people. We trying to start it where we get some super chats. So it's only going to cost you like $1. Give us $1. Come in and get it. We working hard. Look, y'all treating us like immigrants, baby. You don't want to pay us minimum wage. We trying to get a little bit of something. You know, this tequila here ain't free. You know, we entertaining you. We want some likes. That's all we want. You know, give us a little something. I mean, y'all giving it to the immigrants. Shit, y'all don't mind. Maya don't mind giving 55% of her paycheck out. Maya hit that $1. Give look out for a brother every now and then. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. All right, Maya, we're gonna bring you back, and then we're gonna switch subjects. So give me a second. Maya, how you doing today? You back? Take yourself off mute, Maya.
Okay, so just imagine me as a woman. I'm working, and then I have an immigrant that comes and work. I'm an American citizen, and they
work for you or work
with me alongside of me. Right. So let's just say I came in making $35 an hour. And let's say they get the same position that I do, and they're getting $45 an hour. Is that an issue? Yeah, that's what's happening now.
The illegal immigrant is going to get more than you?
Half of the time they do. Because why? Because a lot of the times they're bilingual. They're bilingual. And in Miami, I actually moved to Atlanta for the simple.
Illegal or legal?
Both.
Both. I've never seen anybody.
So let me tell you about something that you may not know about. So they have this thing called a pink box, right? I don't know if you ever heard of it.
I've heard of the pink, but it may not be the pink box you're talking about. But go ahead.
Right. It may not be the pink box that you and I refer to, but you got a pink box where once one of the immigrants, they come here and they're legalized, they're able to adopt the children that come here. So let's just say they got the grandmother, the grandfather.
I already know. I've already been through illegal immigrants.
Okay, so you know that.
Like that. You can sponsor someone. You can sponsor someone to come on, but they don't come immediately. That's like an 8 to 10 year process to bring somebody over. And you have to show that you are financially able to take care of every person that comes over. So if you're a person and you want to sponsor somebody, you have to meet a certain financial criteria in order to bring anybody else over. So yes, when you are a citizen, you can petition to have other people come over. That's just like if you want to get married, you are actually petitioning to have that person come over. It's just not automatic. That doesn't happen like that. But go ahead.
Yeah, but even still, they're still coming in ahead of a regular American working person.
When you say wait, hold up. How do you say coming
Because
in?
because as an
You're working.
immigrant, so are you talking about undocumented people that doesn't
That
have
would
a
be an
social
illegal immigrant. That's an illegal immigrant.
So you're talking about undocumented. So they get to go work at cornfields, cherry picking, all that stuff. But they're still living with people that are typically legalized.
Usually they're not. Most illegal immigrants stay with other illegal immigrants.
Not necessarily. I don't know if you know that, but not necessarily.
Not true. My mother, she stayed with family members when we came here.
But did y'all associate with other illegal immigrants?
Yeah, we did.
So how did you become legal then?
I was able to. Well, actually, my mother was able to actually follow the process that other immigrants that came before her. So they kind of walked her through the process, and which typically what happens when immigrants come here, they probably hook up with another immigrant who's now have their papers, will walk them through the process.
Mm-hmm. And that's why a lot of the neighborhoods get established like that. Like there's pockets where I live at, there's a lot of Indians. So once like one Indian family comes, they kind of tell everybody else, hey, come here. Just like how you have a little Haiti, what is it? Little Cabana, Cuba down there, Havana. People come to where they feel comfortable and they all migrate mostly to those areas.
Even now where I work, there's all illegal immigrants working in the kitchen. So how are they working? I don't know.
Because
I don't know how.
your boss is hiring them illegally, or they use a false social security number and a false ID to get that, a dead person's birth certificate. So they're using all that to get it. And usually if they're not doing it, if they're not using a social security number or something like that, they're getting paid under the table. So if I'm paying somebody under the table, of course I'm going to pay them less than what I have to pay an employee. That's the benefit of hiring someone illegal. So no illegal. What sense would it make for me to hire an illegal person and pay them more than what I would pay my regular citizen? That's asinine. That's doing business backwards.
But some of them are because they're getting more people in that's willing to work versus the standard typical American person.
More people does not equate to what you make more hourly. You're talking about individuals. So I can get 100 people and I can pay them less, but they're 100 individuals.
Right. I understand what you're saying, but I'm letting you know what's going on because I'm out here in the working world and I work with a lot of immigrants.
I know what's going on. That's why I said it should be wrong. Here's the thing, if that company can bring in these illegal immigrants and pay them less to get them in, they're saving money somehow. And that money should be invested in you. You're a citizen.
Yeah, but also too, it's about bodies. It's about who's doing the work, how much production can be done, how much work is putting out. So the more work that's being put out, the more money is coming in.
So are you saying that Black people don't want to work where you're at? They're lazy?
I'm not necessarily going to say Black people because I see a lot of lazy white people too. And I think white people are a lot more privileged than Black people. And it's just a lot of laziness everywhere, to be honest with you.
Thank you.
So the immigrants aren't lazy.
Immigrants can't be lazy. Some of them are and some of them aren't. It's just a whole thing of diversity. It's like a lot of them come and ride the clock. A lot of them come and sit and just stand around and just wait because they know that they're getting that paycheck every week.
And you're fine.
It's about survival.
I want to
Let
chime
me
in.
see the number of the ice. See what I'm gonna do? We calling ice on them, baby. Ice, ice, baby. They got to go.
I want to chime in on something. I saw a interview where where Mexican immigrants and Guatemalan immigrants were complaining on the Venezuelan immigrants. They were calling the Venezuelan immigrants lazy because they didn't want to work. The Venezuelans felt like, why work if I'm getting a steady check every week? This is in New York. This is what they said. While the Mexican and the Guatemalan and the El Salvadoran is like, hey, we want to work because we're not lazy. So this whole labelness of being laziness, most immigrants don't want to be labeled that here in the States because, again, they're coming from a place where they had nothing. But then again, if you're coming from a place where you had social programs and social government that gave you money, you're going to take that same mindset to that particular country and expect that you're going to get the same entitlement issues that you have. Hence why Venezuela is in the state of place it is, because the government in Venezuela used to give the people money to stay home. If they ain't work, they still got a steady paycheck. So now that's where you have a huge influx of Venezuelans coming here. They know, hey, we're going to get free money. We're going to get a free place to stay.
Yeah.
Free healthcare. So that's why they come here like, hey, you know what? And again, they have their reasons to come here. I'm not pushing back on that. But what's being promoted to them is like, hey, the United States is giving away free money. Hence why that video you saw earlier with that guy, Capachi, was telling his fellow Venezuelans, like, hey, come to the U.S., squat at people's houses, get all this money, have a kid. Like, they're telling people, as soon as you get here, have a kid. You get money by having a kid here. Food stamps, Medicaid. That's what's being promoted on social media. So again, it's not about who's lazy, who's not. It's just they're just taking advantage of the opportunities that is being presented to them.
They're not taking advantage of it. That's what I said. All right, Mom, I'm gonna put you in the back. Please stay tuned because we got some great subjects. I'm gonna bring Ulysses up front. Ulysses,
salute to the panel. Salute to the panel.
What's going on, man?
Hey, so I wanna say like my opinion about the migration with the Venezuelans. Like me personally, you know how I lived in Colombia and DR, so I've been around a lot of Venezuelans. So my opinion about them is like it's always gonna be horrible, but I know for a fact they're very ungrateful people. Like I could tell you, I've seen them personally say bad things about the DR. They talk shit about Colombia. They call the Peruvians Indians. They say bad things about the Chileans. And so if you pay attention to the social media, like, the comments that are written in Spanish, you see like the Peruvians, Mexicans, everybody's complaining about them. Like every country in Latin America doesn't want them for a reason. And so when I've been around them, I could just tell you most of them are just very ungrateful. Like Mexicans, when they come illegally to America, they start to work their asses off. Like they ain't fucking just, oh, give me a card that has like $5,000 per month so I could, eat a free life. Like, nah, bro, they're working their asses off. Construction, dish, gardening, whatever they have to do to get that money. And I just feel like Venezuelans are not really like going after it. Some are working, but maybe like 1 out of maybe 10 is working their asses off, and the rest of them are just chilling, getting free benefits. So that's my opinion. Like that's when I knew like the Venezuelans were going to America. I knew they were the same fuck shit they do in Dominican Republic. Well, they used to do in Dominican Republic. They're doing it in Colombia now. They're gonna do it in the States, man. So I know a lot of Venezuelans that I met in Colombia that don't work. Many young women that don't work. They just sit there, chill, have guys give them money, and just kick back. And some of the men as well. So I kind of knew when they went to the States and New York, they're gonna do the same shit. So don't expect these people to just pick up a hard hat and a hammer and start to work. They ain't. I could promise y'all that.
But there's 2 reasons from that. From the Venezuelans that I've run into, and we appreciate your comment. The Venezuelans that I've run into, when they come over, they'll say, "Oh, I was a doctor and I was an engineer," whatever they were in their country. So they feel when they come here, there's a certain privilege they got. So it's an arrogance that they have.
Yeah, but they never did that profession. You know how many waitresses I met in Medellin that like were lawyers, like Venezuelans. Like even one of the girls, the last one I met, she was working as a copy. Like she gives you like the copies of like the paperwork or whatever at a printer shop. And she's like, "Oh, I'm a lawyer," and I'm just looking at her. It's like, you never one day worked as a fucking lawyer. It's every single Venezuelan girl that I met always tells you I'm a lawyer, but not one day have they worked in a law firm ever. So it's just like their degrees, it's kind of like just doesn't mean shit, man. That's what I think.
That's true, though. A lot of people tend to come here, like immigrants say, "Oh, I was a doctor, I was an engineer in their country." a lot of them are fucking lying.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. All right, listeners, we're gonna put you in the back. I hope you stay tuned
All
for our
right,
next.
salute, man, salute, man.
All right.
Hey, by the way, I want to give a shout out to Ulysses Traveler, man. It's one of the YouTubers out there that's actually putting in work. He actually produces real receipts compared to a lot of these passport bros out there. So definitely shout out to Ulysses the Traveler. He definitely does his thing out there, man. He's currently in Brazil right now.
Fantastic, guys. We are switching subjects.
Yeah, time to smoke, man. Liquor start kicking in, man. Where my music, man? Shit, I'm about to smoke this section.
Let me
out,
get
'cause I'm
something in
about
the
to push
background,
back,
brother. This one might do something for you. Let me see.
Yeah, man. Hey, make keeping Maya back up, man. We definitely get a take on this, but yo, this shit about to get. Yeah, there you go. Now the smoke's. Oh, Trini's about to come in too. Bring his ass up, though. I'll smoke his ass up too. I don't care. Anybody get it. Shit. Fuck it.
Brothers. I got a question for you. Should you date?
What?
What's that?
What
or
happened to the
marry?
music, man? What happened to the music, man?
Oh, you want the music still playing? Sometimes.
Hell
it's too loud.
yeah, man. No, just keep it on the backdrop, man. That's it. Just put it on repeat and let it play.
All right, got you. There you go.
All right, put the volume at 9, and you good.
Where we at?
You still learning, man. It's all good.
Got you. There you go. Low in the background.
There you go.
So, brothers, this is a debate. Should you date or marry a single mother? Are there benefits to you marrying a single mother? Would you date a woman who has children, who already has children? Doesn't matter your age now. Say, for instance, a brother like Ronan, he may be a little bit older, maybe in his 40s. So for him, he's like, hey, I date a girl with a kid because the kids they out of the house. It's not an issue anymore. Not a problem because they older kids. But what are the benefits and what's the drawback to dating someone who has children or even marrying? Kanal, I'm gonna let you go. Maybe this hits home to you. What's your expression?
I mean, look, man, this whole narrative out there being pushed by these so-called high-value men, the majority of asses broke. They ain't really high value. They just want to call themselves high value. Downplaying single mothers. Look, I'm a product of a single mother. It is what it is. My dad met my mother. My mother had 5 kids already before she had me. And my dad came in and all right, I'm gonna help out. And because of him, he actually covered the expense for my mother coming to this country. So all that boat expenses my mom had to go through, my dad paid for it. And at the time, my mom had 5 kids already. Now, granted, wait, hold up. Let me finish my story now.
All right, go ahead, bro.
Story now, dog. I'm gonna see. I'm ready, dog.
That port wine kicking in.
Yeah, man. So my thing is this: I don't see nothing wrong with single mothers. Really, it all boils down on the type of single mother that you mess with. If she's a very disrespectful person, regardless if she has a kid or not, she will continue to be a very disrespectful person. There's a lot of great mothers single mothers out there who probably made a mistake or probably came from a divorce that could be good wives to someone else. Now, granted, I believe as a man who does not have a child, you should not date a woman who has a child because you can't understand what she's going through unless you are mature enough to handle that. Now, a single dad and a single mom, perfect. But a guy that doesn't have a child and he's young, dealing with a single mother, I would not recommend that. That's my take on it.
So do you think that, so you're saying basically single mothers should be set aside for only single fathers?
I would say 50-50, depending on the guy. Because again, the guy may come in, may feel like, you know what, I still want to be with you. She probably has 1 child. She has a good situation where, there's no ill will between the baby's father, whatever, or the father passed away or moved on, whatever, and they're able to work that out. But there's a lot of factors that plays into this, man. It's not as easy as yes or no. If the guy's mature enough to understand, like, hey, listen, she does have a child and she won't be easily accessible, then that's different. But in most cases, I would say if you don't have a child as a man, especially as a young man, I would not recommend it. especially if she is not ready built to be a wife or understand the importance of, hey, listen, it's not all about your kid. It's also about you putting this man in your life as well.
All right. So here's my pushback. I would say no. No. For a couple of reasons. One.
So even even with a guy with a child, you should not date a single mom.
Oh, I'm not. Yeah, if I had a child, I'm still not dating. No.
Oh, okay. I like to know why. Curious.
All right, here go to why. Number one. My house is not a democracy. It's not a republic. It's a dictatorship. That means I'm law, I'm the king, I'm the emperor of this house. And what I say goes. What I have found when it comes to single mothers is, first, and I believe that I'm first, I get the big piece of chicken. The reason is because if I go down, we all go down. So a woman who has a child, you know who they put first? That child. That child is always first. They second and you third. The order is all messed up.
I disagree. Yeah,
but you keep disagreeing. Number two reason. Especially if I'm with a woman and I have a kid, and I have seen this on many occasions.
Okay.
A woman will say, and I got a video with it. That's my kid. You can't discipline my kid. Now you can discipline your kid, but you can't discipline my kid. So that means I would grow up in a house. I would be growing up with a family of which one child is treated different than the other child. And that's how it will always be. It shouldn't be the rules. I can't lay down the law. I can't whoop this child the same way. You know, if I'm gonna whoop my child one way, I'm gonna whoop your child the same way.
It all depends who you.
They say that's my baby. That's my baby. That's my baby.
I mean, it boils down on the type of woman that person is. Like when my stepdad came into the picture, he was the head of the household. He came first. When he came home from work, guess what I used to do? I used to take his shoes off his feet, start, put it in the corner, and I'll give her a hug. Again, because my mother put that in my head, like, hey, listen, he's the head of the house, so you got to respect him as your father. And again, maybe this is more of a Caribbean thing, but there's no stepdad, stepmom, none of that. Yo, that's your dad now.
So two questions about that. How old were you when he became your stepdad? And do you...
You're frozen. We lost you there.
Feel about
it. I lost you there, man. You went froze.
So yeah. I'll repeat it. So you were the youngest. So how old were you when your stepfather came and, when they got with your...
My little sister's the youngest, and we're only 1 year apart. And when he came in the picture, I was what? Because she's only 1 year apart, so I was like probably 2. So
but what about your brothers or your
my older brothers? Yeah, my older.
They say, "Oh man, I know who my daddy is."
No, well the thing is, he understood not to cross the line because they were older. So it's like my older brother and I were 18 years apart.
Okay.
So when my older siblings came they were teenagers. So he understood that, but at the same time, they knew that he was the head of the household. No question asked. The first food to plate went to him. And again, I'm not trying to say this is a culture thing, but this is what's the precedent that my mother set. And at the end of the day, it all boils down on the type of woman you decide to wife up, man. Because if that single mom is not built to understand that, hey, the importance of having a man in the house, the importance of having a father and a husband, then she won't value you there. She won't value being there. And hence why you'll never be the first person in her life. Her kid come first. While my mother never did that. My mother made sure her husband came first. We came second.
Jemiah says, I want attention. I think the thing is, she must be a single baby mama that nobody want to date. That's the problem. Don't marry Jemiah. I ain't changing no diapers from no other person,
My thing is this. Like, I understand right now, there seems to be a big push about, hey, don't date single mothers, don't date single mothers. I get that. A lot of people a lot of people make a lot of bad decisions However, at the same time, look at the person who made that decision. There's a lot of shitty ass mothers out there, but you as a man need to make a better decision picking the right woman.
And why would I pay for her bad decisions?
See,
I'm just saying, hey, why would I pay for her bad decisions?
You're right. But again, like for me, if I were to date a single mother, you're only allowed to have one kid. I'm not doing 2 kids. 1 kid is my max. Even as a father, I can only do 1 child. And my only rule is that at least the child has some type of relation with the father or know who the father is.
So
unless he's dead.
I agree with that. So let's just say, so in what sense? Now let's just give some scenarios. You have a child that's here, and your girl has a child, and the dude's like, "No, you can't discipline my daughter or my son or whomever that is. You can't discipline." What you gonna do?
And you know what? That child has to live with you. That's it. Simple as that. And if the mother can't take that, then we can't be together.
All right. So what happens in the sense that now you got that, so it may be different because yours is out of countries, but let's say the single dad like you says you were married before, you have children. So let's say your the stepdad, he brings home some food for his kid or Christmas. He's not buying Christmas presents for your children. He buys something for his child. Then your child says, "I don't have nothing." I mean, how do you work with that?
I wouldn't have an issue with that. The thing is, I'm gonna take care of my kids. So it's like if her new husband wants to buy kids for toys for his son, cool. My only thing is that don't treat my child any different from your child in regards to like openly and put you take your kid out and you leave the other one home. I'm not gonna tolerate that. If that's the case, my son can live with me. And that's the thing. So I'm not afraid to take full custody of my child.
Okay. So
it's like if you're gonna do that parental treatment towards kids, you know what? I don't want my child in this environment. Guess what? Give him to me.
So there was a clip a while ago about a guy. He raised this girl as his own daughter. He even paid for he paid for her college. Was going to pay for her wedding. Instead of having him, the guy who's taking care of her the entire time, walk her down the aisle, she wanted her real dad, who hadn't been in her life, who hadn't contributed, who hadn't done anything, to walk her down the aisle. And he wasn't even a part of the wedding. I say that because it always seems that you get all the responsibility without any of the praise.
That's a small minority group though, man. I've been raised around brothers and sisters. Like when I mean brothers and sisters, like friends who were raised by their step parents, man, they have the tightest bond ever. It's just sometimes you just hear little crazy stories like that, man. Like it's sad, but it's what it is.
Let's watch a few videos. Let's see if any of these change your opinion. So we got some for and against. All right, it's gonna be your favorite, brother first, Anton. So let's see what Anton has to say.
And boy, oh boy, do I get so much pushback and feedback. And I've never seen so many men looking to validate a bad decision that they made or to get validation from other women about why it is that you should become a stepfather.
I'm gonna see if you gonna tell him. He's coming in right now.
I let him know what's
and then
up.
Cause he ain't going nowhere. That's my son. That's my only son.
At some point, he got to go.
Never no time.
I mean, at some point, he
never
got
no
to go.
time.
Man,
Never no time.
Well, tell him, Christian.
No, you tell him. Well, we talking about you grown and you gotta go somewhere. I told him you my only son. You ain't going no damn where. You go when you get ready.
Man, I just feel at some point you need to make your own way. That's what I be wanting to walk through the house naked sometime, and there you go. So I mean, what? you know.
No, if anything, you can go, not him.
Damn. That's wild.
You know what?
Dude is in the house. He can't control his household. He like, look, bro, you old, man. You know, you 25. I can't even walk naked in my house because you going to the refrigerator. You
But that's the woman he chose. That's the woman he chose. There's a comment by Vlog Tripping. Can you put that up? I want to address that one.
Which
very
one?
last one. The very last one. Vlog Tripping. All right. Black man try to act like he has control of all that. You can't just take your child from her mother. Look, there's one thing I tell guys: don't be afraid to take your baby mama to court. There's always going to be a fear factor with especially with black men, afraid to go to court. Take her ass to court, and you realize how much fucking rights you have as a father. A lot of black men decide to stay ignorant. No, well, again, a lot of black men prefer to stay ignorant based on their rights as a father. So for me, hey, I have 50-50 say on everything. Just like I'm living in her house. So at the end of the day, but it still boils down to the type of woman you decide to have a child with. The problem is, guys just feel like, they get just caught up by the big ass and big titties and the pretty face. They could care less about all the red flags that they see where it's always presented to them. There's still a lot of good single mothers out there that's willing to be wise to you. You just got to pick the right ones. The problem is you got the ones that you have a lot of guys picking the bad type of women as girlfriends and bitch about it all over social media.
But most of those single moms, I told you, what they're going to do is they're going to choose their child over you. Like this woman said, you can leave, but he can stay. They all, you're an alien. You in your own home. You have no.
And guess what? He should leave. The fact that she said that I would have got up, packed my shit, and left. So guess what? All them fucking bills, you pay for it. But the thing is, a lot of black men don't have the fucking guts to do that shit. Black man, you guys talk too fucking much. Y'all talk too much. No action. It is what it is.
Ooh. So let me ask you a question. Your ex-wife, is she married? Is she married to someone else?
She has a fiance right now. She's in the process of getting married.
So you don't think he has like some control on or?
Oh yeah. You know what? Guess what? I went there. I spoke to him. We had a couple of drinks, and I told him straight up, listen, he's in your house. Make sure he follow your rules. And if you need to check him, check him. I'm old school, man. So the thing is, I told him straight up, listen, if you need
Here's the thing, brother, you old school, but a lot of these baby daddy
I'm speaking for myself. I can't speak for any other man who don't got his shit together. I can't speak for him. I can speak for myself. When I told her man, like, hey, listen, if my son ever disrespect you, do what you got to do, or call me. And he respect that. It's like, listen, look, he's in your house. I mean, you guys are creating a home. He has his own place there and everything else. He has to respect the rules. He has to respect that he's the head of the house. And guess what? He calls him by his last name. You never fucking call a grown man by his first name. He called him by his last Mr. So-and-so.
But all right, how old is your youngest?
12.
All right. Let's say she met this dude when he was 3.
Okay.
And your son called him daddy. You all right?
Here's the thing. I wouldn't be against him having 2 dads. He know I'm his dad. But it's like if they have a bond relationship and he wants to call him dad as well, I wouldn't have an issue with that. But he knows at the end of the day, DNA, blood tested, he know that, hey, I'm your dad. But at the same time, if anything were to happen to me, if I were to pass tomorrow and he has to take my place as the father, I wouldn't have an issue with that.
So now here's the thing. I dated single moms. I've gone out, I've dated, and it's just it just never kind of worked out. It always was either somebody was first, somebody was second. It was a battle with power. It didn't do. But not everybody's with me. So let's see some other clips where maybe people are seeing things a different way. Let's see.
And don't want to date single mothers, or men are always talking about single mothers, this, that, and the third. This is a perfect example as to why. Because again, you expect this man to come in, be the man of the house, pay all the bills, be romantic, do all that, be a father to a son that he didn't have. That's not my son.
But he has no say-so.
But he has no say-so in the discipline. He has no say-so in the guidance. He has no say-so in how this house is going to be ran in regards to your son. So how do you expect me to be the man of the house when every time that I try to tell him something that's right, you bucking the system because you getting emotional, because you damn the message I'm saying, you processing it as, no, you can't tell my baby nothing.
Because it's my baby.
It's my baby.
Yep.
So as a man, how enticing is that of a situation to walk into? That's why men don't want to date single mothers. That's why.
And thank you, Jesus. I have never met that. I've never experienced that. At my 45 years, I have not experienced that. And thank you, Jesus, that I have not experienced this.
I see that would be my problem, because I don't think you see it in the beginning. I think it just it percolates over time where it becomes, that's my baby, that's this, you can't do that. But I got one more, and it's not, these are the fours, and then we'll talk about it and bring people up front.
All right, cool.
Ever date a single mother?
I'm dating one right now.
You're dating a single mother right now?
Yeah.
Now, how would you feel if the mother didn't let you discipline her kid at all?
That's fine.
Okay.
I didn't get with her for the kids. I got with her for her, Her kids are her responsibility,
I don't want to be somebody who has kids and stepdad and da-da-da. And over the past 3 years, we've had countless of women who are single mothers. We've had men who are single fathers. And when it comes to the single moms, like I really listened, and I really, really thought that some of these women are really amazing women. And I think we live in a society where people are like, well, they have kids, they're damaged. And I'm like, and I listen to these women, and of course I only get a glimpse of who they are. But I truly believe that there's a lot more to it than just, okay, well, she's a single mom, like I can't take her serious. So I don't believe that anymore. Is that ideal, dating someone who has kids? Perhaps not. I would love to have my own kids with my own woman. That would be great. But I'm not as shut off anymore as I used to be completely transparent.
That's why I prefer to date women with kids.
No.
Then,
That's a good option.
because
that's a strong choice right there.
because both of you all understand that y'all gotta compromise, and y'all got other people that you have to adjust your schedules around, and you all just tend to click a little bit better when it comes to that when you have kids. Whereas people that don't have kids, they tend to be just a tad bit more selfish with your time. But you know what you get into when you get into it. So you have to, coming into that as a person without kids, you have to understand that you're gonna have to share this person.
That's what they need to know.
Compromise with them. When they don't understand it, that's when y'all gonna bump heads.
Bullshit. That last dude was fucking pandering like a motherfucker, man. That's complete bullshit. He was just saying that shit just to get some ass. Fuck all that shit. I would never say that dumb shit. He said that's a lot, and I could tell he doesn't have any kids. Look, listen, sometimes I ain't gonna lie. When I see my girl, like when I get back there, it's like I want to be selfish. Like, listen, fuck the kids. Let's have a good time. So this dude, hey, damn, Phyllis kind of fell off. Is this still live? Can you guys see me loud and clear? All right, cool. Wow, Phyllis just dropped off by accident. All right, I have no control of this podcast, and he dropped off. Anyway, the live is still going on.
I'm sorry, I hit the wrong button trying to get Maya in here. Maya done messed up my thought process talking about single moms. I'm trying to comment. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
Maya,
she wants to get on.
You up in a second. I know you're a single mother. Give me a moment.
But yeah, I mean, look, I think that dude's full of shit, man. It is what it is. He was full of it, and he was just pandering to the panel. That's my take on it. Bring Maya up, man. I would like to hear a take, and bring some other people up as well.
All right, let's start with Maya. Let's go, Maya. Maya, how you doing? I know you are a single mother. How do you feel about, should a guy date you? How did they feel about you? They discipline the kid. What do you think?
Are set clearly about how we're disciplining our children, whether it's mine or whether it's yours. That's the first step. You mentioned earlier on that, you're the king of your castle. It's a dictatorship with you. This is how it goes, which is all good. But when you say the term dictatorship, that tells me you're not flexible. So I have no problem with anyone disciplining my child. That is absolutely fine, depending on, what we discussed earlier on in our relationship. Okay, is this for the long haul? Like, what are we doing? We have to take steps into this when we're entering each other's lives in a relationship. That's the first thing. So I have no problem with serving you as a man. I have no problem with doing that. And I have no problem with discussing how we're disciplining our child. But to totally exclude a single woman saying that she's not deserving because she has a child, I don't agree with that at all.
Well, here's the thing. If I date you or anyone who has a child, now my finances are not divided over one person because the woman's like, oh, I want you to take care of me. It's divided over even more people. And usually what happens is a guy is paying and he is taking care of, he's the provider, he's the protector, and he's all of that without any, he doesn't get the responsibility. He doesn't get the credit. It's like giving you a job, but you can't tell anybody what to do.
Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
What if I don't need you for the finances for my child? What if their father is already taking care of the finances? What if it's a situation of where is it as I need you for me and you are kind of like a bonus dad versus me needing you as a full-time father figure in my child's life?
You know how you need me? One, if we're together, I'm not going to have a 1-bedroom house. I got to pay more. You're going to expect me to pay more. If we go to dinner, who's paying? I'm paying for you. Are you just going to pay for your child? And I don't have to pay for them? So it's just, I'm paying for me, I'm paying for you, and then you pay for your child.
So can I ask you another question?
No, hold up, you didn't answer the question.
Am I being a traditional girlfriend or am I being a full-time girlfriend?
It don't matter. It's how you are. You said this is your word. You can take care of your child. Maybe the daddy's father's taking care of him. So how do you feel that now I still have to pay more because I need a bigger apartment or bigger house? Also, can I take you out to dinner and not pay for your child? Can I buy groceries?
but if you love me and you love us, what's the issue?
That's why it's not good for a man. I can date a single mother and not have to have a single woman and not have to have those responsibilities or that added expense. So it doesn't matter what your baby daddy doing. I'm still having added expense and I don't get anything from it. It's not my lineage. It's not my child. I get all of the responsibility with none of the reward. You just admitted it. Because if I was a person who said, no, I'm buying groceries for me and I'm buying groceries for you.
So am I living traditionally with you or am I living in a modern terms with you? Because if I'm living modern terms with you, I really don't need you to buy my daughter groceries. I really don't need you to pay for my daughter food. I really don't need you for any of those things except for what I need you for. Because if her father is doing everything that I need him to do, as far as showing up, providing finances, spending time with her, that gives me more time with you.
Mm-hmm. So you say you don't need me to do it. But would you respect me as a man if I didn't?
Absolutely. I would respect you if you did it. I told you, and I've said it plenty of times. I've had a stepfather, and I love my stepfather dearly. And I appreciate him wholeheartedly, like straight up and down. I would die for my stepdaddy because he's done so much for me. He's done so much for my mother. And I don't even have the best relationship with my mother, but I still have a relationship with my stepfather because he's a man and he showed up and he took care of me. He took care of my sister, who was not his child either. And he provided for us. He stood up for us, and he's still there for me till this day. If I ever were to fall on hard times and I called my stepdad right now and I said, "Hey, daddy, this is what I need," he shows up for me. I don't call him by his name. I don't call him by his last name. I call him my dad.
Yeah. How much further he could have been with no children than he had to take care of. And just think about
I'm
it. When you
still first.
grow up,
I'm happy with where I am in my life, whether I'm a single mother or not. Me being a single mother is my personal choice because the relationship just didn't work. Do I have a beautiful child out of it? Absolutely. Do I love my daughter? Absolutely. I don't feel any ways. I'm not sad. I'm not bitter. And if there's any time that I'm in a relationship and we discuss our expectations as to the direction in the relationship that we're going in, then that's just what it is. We're going to have to agree on some things or disagree on some things. But if it comes to you having to discipline or support financially for me, that's definitely up for discussion. I can't have a one-track mind to say, well, I have a child, I'm not deserving of this type of man. That may work for you, Fearless, but that may not be for every other man. That
Yeah.
video and that clip that you showed, that's not every woman. That my child is my child. You can't discipline my child. I don't know what kind of structure and development you come from as an individual. So I'm not going to negate the fact that you may not be an addition to my life or her life.
I don't have that. So that's what I came from. I came from a structured family where mother and father knew how to get together, where they didn't go out and just have single children. That's what I came from.
So, but you saying that like that's what somebody's goal or their purpose was in a relationship. Sometimes, and in my case, when I had my child, the agreement was for us to be together. The agreement was for us to have a household. That was the agreement. But did it work out that way? No, it didn't. So we had to part ways. Me and her dad, are we friends now? Yes. Are we working on being better co-parents? Yes. But however, things change. There's nothing that's set in stone. That's not living life. If you believe that this is just how it is and this is what it's going to be, but from my understanding, you live in a dictatorship state of mind. So that's your mindset. But that's not everyone's life.
You were weak men. I would never the reason I'm in dictatorship because I don't negotiate with terrorists. I wouldn't let my child tell me what to do. What it is.
Going on, man. Going on tonight. I'm on 1800 tequila, and you sounded like.
I've muted him. So when you were a strong man, the difference is a woman trusts a strong man to make the right decisions, to bring her in the right path. Weak men don't do that. Weak men get second guessed by their women. Weak men get second guessed by their children. They negotiate. I don't negotiate because I know the path and I know the focus. That's why that's why it's a dictatorship. Because if I listen to women, if I listen to a woman, they like to spend money on certain things that's not getting us in the right place. They spend the money on other things that's not getting in the right place. I know where I want my family to go, and I know where we're going to go. And so, yes, it is a dictatorship. I roll in the house. That's how it is. My word is final. If I say this is what we're going to do, that's what we're going to do. If you don't like it, you can get to step.
Now, but that's you. But that's you. But that's not how everyone else lives.
You know what? I want to chime in. Fearless.
And I'm gonna bring KFC up.
All right. So how do you view women that were married now divorced with kids or with a child?
Differently. See, I view them very differently. Here's why. Because they at least they weren't a single mother. They weren't out here just having the oops. They actually got married. They made the commitment to do so. And so that means usually if there's a breakup, there is still a commitment between the two. It was a relationship that they got married. They decided to marry before they cared.
But does that dictate the quality character of that woman because she was married versus one that wasn't married?
No. She can be a great person. She can be a great woman, and maybe nothing has changed about it.
This is my thing. I don't mind you having one child. That never bothered me. Is what it is. Again, I'm a product of a single mom. Stepdad came in. He helped raise me halfway. My dad couldn't do anything from Haiti. It is what it is. I'm never gonna look down towards a single mom. Now, however, what I look down is your attitude, your perception, how you do things. That's what I look at. Me personally, someone who has a special needs child, I'm not afraid to say this. I have an autistic son. I went on a date. I met this girl that I really liked, and I thought this was going well. And I told her straight up, "Listen, I have an autistic son." Guess what she told me, and I had to respect that. She couldn't deal with it. She couldn't deal with me. She couldn't dealing with a special needs child.
So let me ask you a question, Kanal.
Wait, hold on. Let me finish. She couldn't deal with that. I was hurt, but at the same time, I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, my son and I, it's as much as I hate to say it, we are a package deal. I hate to say it, but it's like, hey, you take me, you take my son with me.
Correct.
So it's what it is. So I think, again, I wouldn't recommend any man who does not have a child to date a single mother. However, if you are, be mindful of the person's character. Be mindful of what the person could do for you. Because, again, there's a lot of great single mothers out there, and there's a lot of women out there with no kids who are a piece of shit. Trust me. So it's just like, you really got to just pick the right woman. Now, there's a lot of red flags. Pay attention to those red flags. But I'm not going to sit here and downplay single moms because they're single moms. That's bullshit. And I think social media is pushing this. Social media could be too much for a lot of folks, man. I think a lot of people just eating this shit up because they got nothing else to do and just talk about shit. Because there's a lot of stuff that you say and a lot of stuff that other people say it's totally unrealistic.
So it would be unrealistic for me to find a woman who doesn't have a child. You also
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
You're a hypocrite. You know why you're a hypocrite? Because you said, what's wrong with a mother that's good? So why would you only date a woman that has one child? If she's a good woman, why not she has 2, 3, 4, 5? She can still be a good woman. What's the difference?
I'm not being a hypocrite. I'm going to explain why. The reason why one child, because I feel like that's more doable for me. Now, if I didn't care, I could care less how many kids you have. But as far as what I can handle one child.
So what is wrong with a guy saying I can't handle no children?
There's nothing wrong. That's the point. I'm telling you. I'm saying like, guys, if you're not interested in dating single mothers, don't date them. That's it. But being on platforms, I don't date single mothers, constantly bitching about it, dude. Why deal with that shit if you're not dealing with them? So
well, it's like, that's why
I'm not saying you, but I'm saying other platforms that constantly talk about this. It's like, listen, if you're not interested in single mothers, don't date them.
Correct.
Don't fuck them. Don't do nothing with them. Just stay away from them. But trust me, there's a lot of guys out there that's willing to deal with them.
Now, to me, there would be like an age limit, not an age limit. If I'm dating someone and, say we're 40, she had her child at 20, child out the house. It doesn't really matter to me anymore now because she's like a single mother. So I'm all right with that. So, that I think that would be the difference. So
I just feel that right now with social media and all these different platform podcasts, that's the thing. They should never get Ninja's podcast. You guys just talk about nothing but nonsense majority of the time, man. Because again, it seems like now just being a single mom is a negative thing. It is a negative thing, but what about the dads that are producing single moms? The dads that are not contributing to their kids' life. I met a lot of dudes that don't do shit for their kids.
Mm-hmm.
What about them?
No. Oh, they deadbeat too. Deadbeat.
But the thing is, no, they don't talk about them. They talk about single moms, and it's like, listen, if you're a single man with no kids, why are you talking about single mothers?
They don't talk about.
My whole thing is that a woman, when you have a child and you realize that the relationship failed, and you have another child and that relationship failed, and another child and that relationship failed, you have to take some type of accountability to say, okay, what am I doing wrong? But at that time, you're so far down the rabbit hole. I can honestly say, like, who wants a woman that has 3 children from 3 different men. Like, you're an issue.
And just to let you know, KFC, you are up. You can just unmute your microphone if you want. And
yeah, certainly, Mr. Fearless. How you doing? Can you gentlemen hear me pretty well?
Sir, you are coming in loud and clear. How do you
Okay.
stand on this situation with
Yeah,
single
so
single mothers?
yeah, so I got a couple of basic points on it. Young men, never been married, no kids, stay away from women with kids. Bottom line. Now, if you have a gentleman who's married, now divorced, or was married and he's divorced and he has kids, then it makes sense for that gentleman to link up with a woman with kids if that's what he chooses to do. And the reason is that those gentlemen have experience. They know what it is they're getting into. They understand the responsibility, accountability, and most of the issues and everything that goes along with that, to include the father of those children that's probably possibly going to be coming along with that child, and the woman, that she used to be linked to with that man, whether he's by way of ex-husband or any other way, and then the extended family that comes along with that kid. That's how I see it. It's very simple. And then the other thing too is, what we have to do is get away from it being an attack against the woman or even the child themselves. I look at it in terms of finances. Look, here's the deal. Middle class environment. The Brookings Institute just actually calculated, I think it's 2024, Brookings Institute, it's a think tank that just put out an economic report on this. From birth to age 18, $300,000 to raise a child from birth to age 18. That's 18 years. So if you're going to spend over $250,000 on a child, you probably want it to be your biological child. I don't have any issue doing that. I would have a problem spending, $300,000 on a kid that's not mine, right? And most men would. So you got to put it in terms of, if you frame it in terms of economics, then people understand it better that way. And then the other thing too, as it relates to economics, is if you take on duties as a stepdad, whether you married the woman or not, whether you live with the woman or not, all you have to do is perform duties as a stepdad and spend time with this child that's not yours. And if that woman decides, she can actually take you to court. And now you're going to be, and you could possibly be afforded to pay court-ordered child support for a child that's not yours. So when you frame it in terms of finances, then it's very simple. It's a simple decision. And if you really want to break it down even more, you just, have women explain to you, or any man or woman, it doesn't matter, explain to you, how does it benefit you as a man to invest in or take care of somebody else's children that's not biologically yours. If that's something you want to do, that's fine. But you'd be hard pressed to find a good reason or a benefit that to the man who's actually exerting time, effort, energy, and resources towards a non-biological child. If it's something he wants to do and he wants to make that sacrifice, God bless him, all good and well. I would just challenge people to explain and defend their position and say, look, how does this benefit that stepfather? And I'll go ahead and stop right there.
No, I agree with you. And to go back with Maya, what she has talked about is what her stepfather did for her. But nobody talks about what benefit, like you said, what was his benefit? What did he get out of it? I think that's where it goes. You have all the responsibility with none of the reward.
I have a question. I have a question.
Can I answer that really quick, Kanal?
Go ahead.
My stepfather has love. He has support. Anytime he needs me and calls me and needs me to do anything for him, I am more than willingly to do it. We have countless conversations on different endeavors. I take up a lot of slack that my mom does not take up for his grandchildren. There's a lot of benefits to being a stepfather. And I've proven that to him, and I've shown him that. Like, to be honest with you, that's my dad. I have two dads.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to mean to interrupt you, ma'am. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that would be the same benefit you can get from your biological children. So he could do that with his own kids. See, and that would be the counter argument. And understand, even if this man didn't produce any biological children with the woman that he married who already had kids, there's no guarantee. Everything you just listed off, and that's great and wonderful. And I'm actually happy that you have an outstanding relationship with your stepfather, who you see as your father, and that's great. That's generally not the case, though. As a matter of fact, more often than not, it's there's no contact. Once that kid becomes an adult, there's you could line up 10 kids who had a stepfather, and about 8 out of 10 will say, "Oh, I barely even talk to that guy."
Well, this
You're
is very
you're
true
you're
because
unique in that
my
aspect.
younger sister is the only product of him from my mother.
Yeah.
So he gets the support from my oldest sister, he gets the support from me, and he gets the support from his biological daughter, which is my younger sister. And I love him dearly. So when we speak on terms that not all women get that, that's because all women have not made it clear on what the expectations. And my stepdad has spanked me when I was a younger kid. My mom had given my stepfather permission to discipline me. If I was out of line and I need my ass whooped, he whooped it. Trust me. And I felt no way about it. I didn't feel like, okay, my mom has this man that she's with that's spanking me and disciplining me. And that was his duty. That was his job. That was his position when he entered my mom's life. I'm paying the bills. I'm working. This is what I'm providing for your house. And these are the expectations. So these are all conversations that need to be had when you're entering a relationship with any woman that has children that don't belong to you. Now, if you don't have those conversations, the product of that is going to be what you saw in the video. This is my child. You don't talk to my child like this. You don't get to do this. Like, no, that's not everybody's household.
See, the difference is nobody, if I have a child, my wife can't tell me how to discipline my child. That's my child. I don't have to ask permission.
As a mother, I do get to tell you how to discipline my child because you might be going a little too far. And what you need to also realize, senseless, is that there's a balance in a relationship between men and women. There's a balance because as a mother, we're natural protectors. Okay. So that's the thing that you have to understand as a man. I'm not saying that you can't discipline the child, but how far is too far? Because still I'm a mother. I'm the one that carried this child. I'm the one that had this person in my body for 40 weeks. I'm the one that has lost sleep with this child in my body as it's been growing. I'm the child that has been giving nutrients to this baby as it's been growing. So you got to understand the same love and the connection that a woman has with the child is totally different from what a man has with the child. So that's the first thing that you need to understand. So even if you are the father or even if you are not the father, there's a different connection.
So
doesn't mean the connection is different. See, this is what a lot of women do. They want to tell you how to dictate the child and then or how to discipline the child or how to grind them up and then blame you when the child goes astray. I don't roll like that. The reason
not all women. I'm sorry, man. You know what? Look, it's not all.
I want my child.
I have a question.
I'm not going to beat my child, but I know if I'm saying no, this is what they need to do. They need that. You can't watch TV. You got to do homework, whatever that is. No ice cream. Doesn't matter. If I'm laying down those rules, I'm not laying down those rules.
And that's fine. So if you say no ice cream and then your child comes around the corner and asks me for it, I'm going to reinforce what you and I discussed to say, hey, your dad said no ice cream. So those are the rules and you can't have it.
I don't want my wife to question how I discipline. You just agreed with me.
Oh, hush up, man.
What's the difference?
Hey, you know what? Hey, I want to say something. I want to say something here. I got two things to say. If this was twisted the other way around, you as a single father, dating, how would you feel if someone were to come to you in that type of manner?
If a woman was to come in my life as a single woman?
Single mom. I mean, a single woman with no kids, but yet you're the one that have kids.
Mm-hmm.
How would you feel based on everything that you're saying?
See, here goes the difference. I mean, if I'm not living with it, usually a man doesn't have.
No, you have custody
of his children.
You have custody.
You're seeing them every other week.
You have custody of your child, man. We're talking about the the type of man that has full custody of his kid, not just on the weekends.
So one, until I'm sure, I'm not bringing a woman around my child because I don't want to see them like that. If we do to say we want to get married, that is your kid. You discipline them how you seem fit. Because I don't want that child to feel that they are separated or not a part of that. If we have children together, if me and that new woman has a child together, and say they both in the room, they both painting on the wall, you discipline them both the same way. You don't say to one, oh, your child, you get it one way, my child, you get it another way. No, you do the same. All rules. There is no is even across the board, because I can't. That breeds division, and a child can pick up on that. A child can say, "I can get away with this, I can get away with that," and it breeds resentment because one child says, "Man, you treat him different than how you treat me," and then they start to either resent each other or start to resent the parents. So I say there is no line here. You are the mother. You're the mother to both of them, and you treat them both the same. There is no difference in either one of them.
But then again, this applies both ways, because you mentioned a scenario where a guy went, he goes out and buy food for his kid, but not food for the other kids. Why not buy food for all the kids?
No, what I was saying was, as a man, you have to take on added responsibility. So why, if I am as a man, do I want to share my resources with some child that isn't mine? I'm taking on added responsibility. How does that benefit me? Because it is.
So then just don't do it. So how about this? So just don't do it. How about just don't do it? Because at the end of the day, when I got my ass whooped, my sister got an ass whooped, his own daughter. And when we ate, she ate. Nobody got divided in. Those are just your rules, Fearless. So we need to come up with a different topic and a different discussion, because this holds absolutely no freaking weight. And it's irritating, it's irrational, it's delusional. And
the Bible states don't date single mothers and whores.
No, you don't date single woman and you don't date whores. How about that? Because you got some men that love whores and you got some men that love single women. How about it?
Attitude.
I don't care what you say about my attitude. You're irrational and you're delusional and you irritate me.
Well, and I'm not a baby mama. I'm not a baby kid,
Okay, well, I'm a baby mama and I'm fine with being a baby mama, and I'm a sexy hot one, and I got them all after me at all times. So what you're saying in your conversation and your thought process, it doesn't hold weight to everyone in the world. But again, I forgot, you live in dictatorship and what you say goes, but that's what's happening in your household. And I'm pretty sure your wife is extremely happy about it.
Oh yes, I'm an abuser every day. She gets spanked.
Well, so we have to look at the stats on this, man. Miss Maya, is that what it is? Ma'am, is that correct? Is it Mia?
Yes.
Yeah, so we have to look at the stats on this. So we there's a lot of I'm assuming you're a black woman. Everybody on the panel is black.
Oh, she's black. You can tell that.
Okay, so
lying about that.
Go to hell.
We just have to look at the data, and the data states that generally men are not marrying women with children. There's a lot more women with children, both whether they were married or not, never married with kids, married with kids, they get divorced, and now they're single mothers by way of divorce. And the market is the dating market is actually flooded with more women with children versus men with children. We have literally at this point, 54% of black men never married, no kids. And we do have black men who are married, about 1/3 of them, right? And those men get divorced too. The difference is that those, even if they have custody, the responsibility, the financial responsibility, discipline, upbringing, all of that stuff falls to the man. Even if you link up with a man and he has children, you're not going to be responsible. Men generally don't pass that responsibility or transfer that responsibility to women. All right?
I may not be financially responsible, but I may be emotionally responsible. So there's still a balance.
Yeah, but even with that, you don't have to, by just not engaging with a man who has children. See, women have
but this is true, but I would want to, because if you're my man and I love you and I care about you and you have children and you're a package deal and this is what you come with, I'm going to support you. I'm going to support your children, and I'm going to be there for them emotionally, mentally, or however I need to be. So when you say,
between a man that she met that has no children and a man who has a child or two, which one would you prefer that she marry?
For me, I typically do not date men that don't have kids. I'm
said
38.
If your daughter, she's 21 or 22 years old, she has two men equally the same, look the same, height the same.
So I don't typically date men that don't have children. If I
didn't say nothing about you. I said your daughter is 22 years old. She wants to get married. She sees a man who has two children. She sees a man who has no children. Your daughter comes to you and says, which one should I choose? What do you recommend?
Well, the way that I am raising my daughter, the way that I am raising my daughter, I would want her to have a man that doesn't have children. But is that her reality? I don't know what her reality is going to be because she's only 14. She's going on 15. But no, I would not want her to have a man that has children and she doesn't. But in the event that she does, if she wants to do that, and if I'm alive and well-being, I will definitely guide that to her, because it takes a village to raise children and to have a family. And I would never discount a man that has children. I would never do that.
As much as you say you don't agree with me, every time I bring up a point, you agree with me.
I don't agree with you. I'm going to never agree with you. That's just get that through your thick skull. The bald head one.
You would recommend for your daughter the same thing that I would recommend for myself.
But I just said there's exclusions to that. If she happens to meet a man, if he's a good man, if he's a provider, he's a good man with morals and principles. I'm not going to tell her to.
All right, I had to mute. Here's the difference. The difference is
Stop freaking muting me. I'm getting upset.
I said that for myself. I said, having a preference, I would rather date a woman who doesn't have a child than one that does. You said, with my daughter, I would tell her to date someone who doesn't have a child.
But can we account for the men that's leaving women as single mothers? Can we account for that? Can we account for the men that are actually leaving the women as single mothers? Because that's not a choice. No woman in their right mind decides to lay down with the man and procreate and decides to raise a child by themselves.
You chose to lay down with that man. There are several ways that you could protect yourself: condoms, birth control, Plan B, all of those things. There's 32 different kind of birth control.
But what about the man that didn't have condoms and Plan B and whatever?
And you let him go up inside of you and skeet inside of you?
First of all, everybody's situation is unique.
See, there goes
Some
the excuse. Why you keep making excuses? There's 32 ways of birth control.
No, first of all, calm down.
Hey, hold up. I've never been with a woman who I'm about to have sex with, and she says, "You got a condom, right?" If I say no and she say no, it ain't going down. She's always not before we can put the condom on before we can go anywhere. You dictate that.
Whoa, okay, you're right. So can I say something? You think that when I laid down with my child's father, I intended on being a single mother?
Yes.
How?
Did you take precautions not to be a single mother?
I did.
You were on birth control.
I don't take birth control.
So what precautions did you take?
A condom.
So the condom broke, right?
It came off.
Plan B.
It wasn't no Plan B then.
Abortion.
Why would I do that?
Why would you have sex if you know you can get pregnant? There's consequences and repercussions to everything we do.
Well, guess what? I was too far along to get an abortion, so now what?
Well, now you're a single mother complaining about complaining.
I'm not complaining about my single motherhood because it's not hard for me to get a man.
Women, boy, accountability is like kryptonite to women.
So one of the arguments that we can...
That's like me saying, I was poor, I had to sell drugs, I sold drugs, even though I had another job, and I got caught and went to jail, but it's not my fault. It's
Fearless, what bubble do you live in?
Excuse me?
What bubble do you live in?
Everybody in the chat, and nobody is
What
agreeing
bubble do you live in?
with you. You are on an island by yourself.
I'm not on an island by myself.
Who agrees with you? Somebody please agree with her.
I don't need nobody to agree with me. I'm just telling you my situation. I did use a condom.
I got Hugh here saying you made a decision and there are consequences. Please, somebody agree with mine.
And guess what? But guess what? But guess who's dealing with the consequences? You're not, and nobody in the chat isn't either.
So here's one of the things we have to look at, Miss Maya. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting your name.
No, you're right. You're good.
So one of the things we have to look at is that we have to look at the data, right? And even in your case, even if there was a condom mishap, okay, that's going to be like a rare, exceptional incident, right? That'll happen possibly less than 1% of the time, if that. Right now, as it relates to Black women, it's over 70% plus out of wedlock births. So what that means is that there's an intentional decision in order to make that happen. You can't do something 70% over 70% of the time and call it a mistake or say it's an error. So there's decisions that are being made. These are intentional decisions, and that's the way we have to look at it. And this is now look. I Mr. Phillips doesn't know me. I don't really know him. I looked at some of your videos. Great stuff, sir. And you have a lot of good subjects and all this other stuff. The thing is that we also have to get out of our bubble as it relates to Black people. And I'll talk to Hispanics every now and then. I'll listen to white people and what it is they're saying. And when non-Black people, not that I listen to them to get their advice, because I don't know, and I don't want to make this racial, because I don't know any white people who are really interested in helping Black people. What I'm telling you is that whenever they're talking about Black people and Black issues, one of the first things they point to is the high out of wedlock birth rate, lack of fathers in homes, crime, violence, kids dropping out, everything that emanates from the they'll reference the single motherhood problem, but they'll also generally blame it on the men. And I don't see it as the men's. I see it as the men's fault in some way. Here's the problem though: the women qualify the men. Like, you qualify the guy that you produce the children with. So when people go, well, I'm blaming. Why don't we blame the men who are absent? Well, you qualified that guy. The women who produce the children with these men, they've qualified the guys. So we can't say the guy's a problem or a dirtbag or a loser or a deadbeat, because the women qualify these men. And then again, we always got to go back to the data. The data states 70% plus rate Black women out of wedlock births. That's Black women, not Black men. That's statistically attributed to Black women only. And what that means is that Black women as a collective have decided that they want the babies, maybe not husbands, but they want the babies, and everything emanates from that. And then when the goes bad, then we start talking about this absent father, and I'm like, well, you qualified the guy.
Exactly.
True enough, and I agree with you 100%. So I may be one of those women in a very rare case, because when I decided to sleep with my child's father, I did use protection. Was the protection faulty? Absolutely. Once I said that, hey, I'm pregnant, I'm having a baby, that was the agreement.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, I don't need a man for her, or to nurture her, or to be there for her. It's mainly for me. Now, if he decides to step up and he wants to be, because she's 14 now, she's almost into adulthood. But everybody's situation isn't necessarily the same.
Yeah, so
that's my point of the argument.
You might have a relatively workable situation. You're 3 to 4 years out from your child being 18, possibly going off to college or doing something, or moving out and moving on her own or something like that. All that stuff is great. What generally happens is there's way more women with like small children at 2 and 3. Usually what happens is, and this is generally the pattern. Child is born out of wedlock. The father may or may not be there. Oh, by the way, just so you guys know, the data on this from the Pew, not a Pew Research Center, from the CDC, birth that relates birth data. for United States for all races and both genders. When 66% of black fathers are present when the child is, or I'm sorry, they're involved and present when the child is born. Now, data also points to the fact that about, I think it's like close to 1/3 of those men, by the time that kid is 2 years old, they're gone.
Yeah,
So
and then a lot of, and
you're
I'm
talking
gonna attest to the fact that a lot of those women run the men away.
Yeah, so now you got a 2-year-old kid, no father, and remember we started up which 66%. That's not great. That's not great, by the way, but that's still a whole lot better than like half of those fathers missing. So the father, so at the birth, they're there for the birth. They're there for like the first year and a half of that child's life, and then by the time you get to year 2, 1/3, almost half of those men are gone.
That's because the woman would rather have a child than have a husband. That's all.
But who can you blame for that?
You chose them. I can't get this through. You chose the man. I am a man.
Don't say you. Please don't say you.
Multitude of women. It is the woman that has the control to tell me, no, I am not qualified to sleep.
But do you know what plays a big factor in that too?
What's that?
A lot of black women, sadly to say it, but Jesus Christ is their man.
Jesus Christ.
Well, I mean, that's nice for spiritual guidance, but down here on earth, kids need fathers.
That's right.
But they depend on the church and they depend on religion, and they say that Jesus is going to make a way. Jesus is my father. Jesus is my man. And they become very delusional and create all these scenarios of being single women instead of being in touch in reality on what is actually really needed in their life.
So the
this
counter to
pisses
that,
me off. Hold up, Kev. Why the fuck do y'all call on Jesus Christ after y'all get pregnant?
So don't say y'all. But but Fearless, listen. I see you're getting frustrated. I see your hand motion. Listen, I'm just telling you my observation.
Women call on Jesus Christ to provide a way. He's going to help me out. But they didn't call on Jesus Christ to say don't sleep with the man.
I'm just telling you the scenario of what I observed.
Does that make sense to you?
To me, no.
Does it make any kind of?
So the counter to that is structure, order, and discipline, and that's what fathers provide. And we can talk about spiritual guidance and God and going to church and all that other good stuff, but nobody from the church is actually there on a regular basis, daily. Reading to the kid, providing that structure, order, and discipline. You can't do it on the weekends. It's like a daily thing. And even if the father has to has one of those jobs where he's like a long distance trucker and then he's there on the weekends, that's still better than not having a present father at all. Like the father needs to be linked to that child in a way. And I just gave you the data. The data states that when children are born, black children are born specifically, 66% of those fathers are present. And then by the time that child gets to age 2, half of those fathers are gone. There's something going on there.
Is your name KFC?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So KFC, I'm going to tell you this as a black woman. I have black women as friends. I have black women that are no longer friends with me. I have a mother that's a black woman. I have a sister that's a black woman. I've experienced myself a lot of trauma. It took for me to leave my household at 15 years old, which I wasn't even at a state of womanhood to live a life as a woman. But I will tell you this, I've experienced.
You had a good stepdad. How did you have trauma with a good stepdad in the house?
I did because I left.
No, but why would you leave if you have a good stepdad in the house?
For various reasons that I don't have to discuss with you. But I left my house. I'm talking to KFC right now. I'm talking to KFC. So sit back and listen. So KFC, I left my house at 15. And on my journey of life of meeting different black women, Hispanic women, African women, women from all over the nation, I've met very beautiful women of all races and all cultures that have shared a lot of different stories. A lot of black women come from a lot of trauma, and a lot of that trauma is not being addressed. And my trauma was my biological father not necessarily being there. So I had a lot of questions as to why my stepfather was more present, more so than my biological father. With that being said, with the 60% of you saying that was there when the children are born and then later on they're not, I think a lot of that potentially is caused by the women. And I think that is because trauma is not necessarily addressed, because there's no manual to parenthood. There's no manual to motherhood. And I think it's a copy and paste of however I grew up in the household with my mother or my father, or however it's been. It's just repeated.
There is a manual. There is a manual. The manual is when you have your father and your mother and they show you how to do it. Those are your role models. That is your manual. That is something you aspire
But how
to.
many people have role models?
The problem is, like KFC said, single motherhood, child out of wedlock, those become your role models. That's why you have so much trauma. That is another reason why.
But there's trauma in households with two parents too. Why are you excluding that? Don't sit up here and tell me that every freaking family that has a mother and a father is a white picket fence. Please stop.
All right, let me ask this question then. Who has a better success rate? A single
Not
mother or
all.
somebody
Some
who lives
single
in a
parents have better success rates than parents with a two-parent home. Because some of y'all people that are living in two-parent homes are living in hell, because 9 times out of 10, the people that are married don't even like each other, don't even want to be with each other. They're only there for the kids. They say they're staying for the kids, which causes more hell upon the kids because it's an unhealthy environment.
Well, I tell you what, it's getting late. We're gonna switch subjects. Maybe you might.
Yeah, switch it up. Cause you ain't got no defense for that, Mr. Senseless.
Your attitude, man. You always come with attitude. Nobody like that.
No,
attitude.
I'm not coming with any attitude. You're just unrealistic, and it's irrational, and it's delusional, and you get on my nerves. And I must say it.
You must like it because you keep calling in.
So I bet if I was in agreement with you, you wouldn't even have a problem with that. I bet.
KFC this be the type of woman you would date? I'm just be honest.
I don't care who want to date me. Whoever wants to date me is the man that's for me. I don't care if you or KFC or anyone.
Goodness, I'm sorry. KFC.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to get into that, but again, my thing is whenever I had this conversation, especially with women, men generally, when I come at it from an economic standpoint, men know,
log off and go be with your wife.
Yeah, most men understand it simply from an economic basis. You take the emotions out of it, have completely disregard, whether she's a good woman, bad woman, good kid, bad kid, none of that matters. Think about it from an economic, frame it in an economic aspect, and most people understand it, especially the men who've never been married with no children. And I mentor young men, and that's just what I tell them, because it's easier to tell them not to do that versus trying to explain to them all the issues and problems they're gonna, experience dealing with a woman who has kids. And
I'm gonna say
it's
this.
much easier that way.
I sat back.
And these are conversations that men are having, because the reason men are having these conversations is that there's a lot of pressure for men, specifically black men, to become stepdads and kind of make up the difference.
I disagree. I disagree.
There's a lot.
You know what? I mean, pressure. Ain't no man, no nothing in this world is gonna put pressure on me unless I accept that pressure.
There's societal pressure. There's pressure from the black community.
I
There's
disagree
pressure
with
from
you. I
women with kids. There's pressure from men.
If you choose not to date, if you choose not to date a woman with children or with a child, that's on you. That's it. Don't fuck with them. That's it. This whole back and forth shit make no fucking sense to me. So it's like, no, this is me speaking as a 45-year-old that's been in the dating scene, married, divorced, now back in the dating scene, now engaged. It's your fucking choice. If I choose not to deal with a single mother, I won't fuck with them. That's it. You like all this case studies and all this shit don't mean nothing, man. Just don't fuck with them.
The studies actually do mean something, because people
it means something, but yet you have a choice as a grown-ass man to say, you know what? I'm not gonna deal with a single mother. That's it. Don't date them. That's it.
And so I think maybe you're one of the things you're probably missing is all the pushback.
I'm not missing anything. I'm just saying. I'm making it 1 + 1 = 2. Don't date him. That's it. As soon as she said, "Hey, I have a child," okay, nice talking to you. Walk away. That's it.
Okay, so you don't think that young men who have no idea what it is they're getting into should be, and just so you guys know,
no. Here's the thing. I tell my sons, I tell my nephews, hey, listen, you don't have a child. Do not date a woman who has a child. I'm not gonna go into the whole data shit. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna say, hey, listen, speaking from experience, do not date a woman with a child if you don't have a child. That's it. It's like you guys are making this shit more complicated than it needs to be. If you don't have a child, don't date them. That's it. If you had a bar, look, hey, do you have a kid? Yes or no? Yes. Nice talking to you. Goodbye.
I would agree with you. And then we just had, Miss Maya come up and explain why men should do it. So men need to be able to counter that.
No. She didn't say that. She didn't say that. She said that men still approach her even though she says she has a child. Some men don't care.
I never said that. Thank you, Kanal, for confirming that.
Okay. All right.
It's a personal. What my point is, it's a personal choice for a man to decide if he wants to or if he does not.
Okay.
It's really plain and simple. I get your data. I get the statistics. I get all of that.
Okay.
I'm not pushing back on that. What I'm saying is to each his own. What you're delivering is, okay, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. We can all tell each other what not to do and what not to do and what to do. But at the end of the day, it's your personal decision. That's just like I could raise my daughter and tell her A, Y, Z, B, D, C. At the end of the day, she's her own individual. She's going to make her own personal choices, just like anyone else will. Now, are there benefits? Yes. Are there not benefits? Of course. But we all have to navigate through life the best way that we know how. And for every setback, there's a comeback. So even if you tell a young man, just like Kanal just referenced, he tells to not to do that. Does that necessarily mean that they're going to listen to him? Maybe, maybe not. To each his own. But to get on a platform, and as for Black men, this is my thing. I feel like there's a down putting of Black women. Stop putting Black women down. Stop pulling Black women into your discomforts and your disagreements and live the life that you want to live. And it's really just that simple. So with all the things that you say that Black women have aggressions and attitudes, of course, we have to defend ourselves and we have to stand up. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm angry or I'm in discomfort, because to each his own. I have young women that are friends with me that I guide and tell things to, and I tell them not to do certain things and I'm tell them to do certain things. They still have to navigate life through their eyes and their view and their traumas and their understandings. Not everyone is going to agree, and that's just the point of the matter.
All right, I'm gonna push this subject on. KFC, both of you can stay on. I'm just gonna put you to the back for a second. We're gonna switch topics. So we're talking about personal responsibility. Now, the personal responsibility we want to talk about is body count. Since we talked about single mothers, does body count matter? Does it matter? You as a man, you want to date a woman, but she done been out there a little bit. Her numbers is a little high. Does that change how you feel about her? Or you a dude, you've been smashing everything that's moving. Should a girl judge you and say, you're not the right type of man for me? Kanal, how say you?
I never was the one to ask, how many guys have you slept with? It's just never been me at all. I love sex. I love to have sex. So I assume that women love to have sex as much as men do. So for me to judge her based on her body count, it'll be I mean, it really depends, man. Again, if you out in a brothel, you work at a brothel, shit, that's what you do for a profession. It's different. But I mean, I'm not gonna look at you any sideways because of a body count, because I don't ask those questions, man. I never asked that question. That's why I kind of laugh at it. It's like, how do you ask a woman how many guys have you slept with? Like no, wait, hold up. Like, she's gonna tell you the fucking truth. It's just like it just don't make any sense to ask that dumbass question. Look, if I meet a woman who's 30 years old, she banged in high school, she banged in college, she banged after college, she probably got married, banged while she was married. So it's just like she's divorced now. She probably banged after divorce. I don't know, man. So I don't ask that dumbass question. Does it count?
Right, say you don't ask it specifically. That means you don't come out and say, "Hey."
I never asked the question. It's just like,
but I'm saying, you don't come out and say, "Hey, what's your body count?"
No, never
but
have.
I know that's fine. But is there some part of you that's saying, she's promiscuous, she's out there?
No, my thing is, I don't want to know that you're a fucking prostitute. That's your day job. You out there, OnlyFans type of shit. I don't want to know that. But it's just like, it's something that, you've done in the past. As long as it doesn't affect me, as long as you got a clean rap sheet, I'm good. But I've never been the one like, how many guys have you slept with? Oh, if it's more than 3, I can't fuck with you. This has never been me.
Is there a number that the girl say you about to get married? Is there a number that your wife can have that you is acceptable?
What is? I don't know. That's the point. As long as the shit tight, wet, good, I'm happy. It just like, for me, maybe I'm taking more of a liberal stance on this because shit, I've been around the block many times, so I ain't no saint. Shit is what it is. But my thing is don't embarrass me. I don't want to go out and like dudes laughing at me thinking like, yo, yeah, she was like the person that we kind of went through. As long as it's not none of that, I don't ask that question. So,
but you don't know that. All right. So, but if it doesn't matter, what if you went out and the dude like, yeah, I smashed that, and you see him like, I smashed it.
Well, I mean, granted, it happens. It happens. Like, yo, because she went to college, she had a life before me. She probably had sex. But again, it never has been a determining factor for me, and why I decide to make someone more of my partner or wife, whatever you want to call it nowadays, based on her body count, because I never really asked that question. As long as you don't have no STDs, shit, man, dude, I love sex. I'm hoping I can find a wife that we could decide, explore the swinger life together. That's what it is. So it's like, hey, man, I'm just like, when it comes to sex, man, it's different. I have a different mindset, man. So it's like, that doesn't bother me. I'm not looking for a fucking saint. I'm not looking for a fucking virgin. I'm not looking for someone that's just been around, just stuck with just one or two guys. Look, man, I need to know if you could suck, if you could suck a good dick. If your ass could do some good things. I gotta know. If you can't do that shit, I gotta teach you. And I ain't got time.
I guess I see it like this. I look at it like, if you go to a job and you have a resume, they look on the resume and say, how long did you work at that company? You worked there for a day and then you left. You worked there, a week and you left, and you just went from job to job to job. It just shows a history that you don't have any stability. And then I know KFC was talking about statistics. One of the statistics say that as the woman's body count increases, so does her risk of divorce increase. So if you have a woman that, that was, one or two partners when you met her, you're more likely to stay together. If she has multiple 10, 20, 30 partners, one, it's harder for her to pair bond with somebody. Number two,
I gotta push back because the reason why, me personally, if the relationship sucks, I'm not gonna stay just for the sake for the kids. Fuck all that shit. I'm out. We're gonna get a divorce. We're out. I'm out. So this whole thing about her having less partners will determine whether she stay around longer. But what about she's just a fucking person you just don't want to be around. So you're gonna stick around just to say because you want to so-called keep the status quo of being in a relationship? Fuck all that shit, man. Trust me, I'll be the one quick to put myself on child support. I'm the one quick to put in the file for divorce. I'm the one to do that first. Because at the end of the day, it's all about my peace and my happiness. So my thing is this, man. Sex, her body count, I don't know because I don't ask. As long as she's good and we have a good chemistry, man. As long as she's, she didn't work the streets, she doesn't have OnlyFans. The football team didn't go through her. I'm good, man. It's just, but besides that, I'm not the one's gonna fucking, do a nose detective like, hey, who you been with, how many, and this and that. I ain't got time for that, man. Because shit, she look at my background. I'm a whore, so it is what it is, man. So
let's watch a few videos and see some other people's opinion on this. Let's see what they're out saying. Let's get some opinions.
As body counts.
9, 10, 10. 3. Drew!
Whoa!
Dixon! You know it's not 3. She's not 3.
How much is it?
It's like 11, 12.
11, 12?
Yeah, she's lying. What was the question?
What's your body count?
It's 3.
Oh, it is? That's dope, that's dope.
2, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's 2?
2.
Okay, bet that. What's your body count? You thinking about if you want to lie or say the truth?
Yeah, 7.
What are the chances I can be the next one?
Oh. Pretty high.
What's your body count?
5.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. I don't know if I believe that. You looked away and you looked at her.
It's 5. I'll tell it to the camera. It's 5.
What are the chances I can make that 6?
Wait, what? I mean, you're really cute. 80%. Oh, say less.
So let me get your number then.
This mother don't miss.
I feel so bad because I don't lie to this man about my body count. I told his ass I only got 7.
Me personally, it's childish. A girl's past should never matter, and it doesn't matter to me. If you're a girl and you agree with me, DM me.
The last move, he was straight trolling. So let me, women don't understand. He was serious, but not serious, because this is usually what happens. And you just see the guys interviewing. When a woman has a higher body count, the first thing a guy thinks is, she's a little bit easy. It's not going to be a challenge for me, and I got a chance. If you go up to a girl, she got I only been with one guy. You're like, damn, I got to put in work. A girl to say, man, I'm out there. I'm 30 dudes. You like, but you don't view them. A lot of those guys don't view them as somebody serious. They view them as somebody who is easily available, somebody you can get with.
But Fearless, do you think this is more of an ego stroke thing? Like to know, like, hey, yeah, I'm her second, third one.
Oh yeah. I think
versus like
always. Let me tell you, with anybody you date, I think you want to be the first to have that experience. You want them to say, "Oh, I did that with Kanal. I went to this place with Kanal." If she do some kind of trick on you, you're like, you can, in your mind, you think, yeah, I like the way she sucked on that and did that, but where'd she learn that from? That's the thing that we think of, like, where'd she get that trick from?
But the thing is, does it matter? Because the fact that you being pleased and she's doing it to you, does it matter where she got it from?
No, but here's the thing: it's almost like it doesn't matter if she traveled with other people. I think guys just always want to be the person who creates that experience.
But the thing is, studies have shown most guys are just 1 or 2 positions only. Most guys are not as curious of doing different things with their mates as others. So, me personally, man, look, if a girl could come in and show me some new tricks, man, hey, let's do it. Let's have a good time. Me knowing her body count just doesn't make any sense to me, especially at my age. At my age, 45 years old, I could kill it. It's like, I don't care, man. It's like, as long as your shit's still tight, dude, and it's, we don't need no damn fucking lube. We could just go ahead and have a good time, dude. That's all that matters, man. It's just, let's be honest here. During our 20s, did we ask women, what's your body count? Like this whole new generation, I never asked that shit, man. It's just like,
happy to get it.
Yeah, we're just happy to get it, man. We didn't care. It's just like, but now this generation want to know everything. It's like sometimes you don't need to know fucking everything. Just enjoy the moment, enjoy yourself, man. Have a good time.
Because Kanawha's different, man. You know, when you were there, if you met a girl that moved down to Miami, she could have been a whore wherever she was. She could have been in the Midwest, but she come down there and she just clean the slate. Nobody know what she is.
Guess what? I would never know that. But me asking her, you know, her body count, she could lie.
She can lie, but here's the thing: what happens is, I think you get that same thing going back. And so we travel. So the next person is going to be a person that travels. We travel abroad. We go everywhere. What I always feel is a lot of men get we get clowned on, man. We get clowned. You know, that I think that's where it goes. And let me play this, brother, and you understand what I'm talking about. It's a sad thing, but so he may have fallen in love, but let's see.
Ain't that beautiful? Look at that, guys. Thank you, man. See, I told you she loves me. I tell you she loves me.
This ain't the same guy.
They want to see how thick you is. Stand up. They want to see how thick you is. Stand up. I've seen this girl many times, man. Hold on. Let me see.
Oh boy.
This ain't professional. Don't worry about all that.
That's an extreme case, man.
I'm just showing you, brother. We're going to discuss it.
For Game Abroad to be cupcaking with a Soy 6 Pro, and it's not like Game Abroad. I mean, everybody done smashed Game's girl, homie. That's something that sticks. She works at Soy 6.
All right, just to give some people background, this is over in Thailand, specifically, I think, Pattaya. In the Pattaya, there are what they call
the red light district.
Yeah, red light district. Girls work at a bar, and so if you go to the bar and you like to bring one home, you pay like a bar fee, and you can take the girl home. So this gentleman, Game Abroad, actually has a lot of followers. I can't be mad at him. He got a lot of followers and a lot of views. He's over in Thailand. He meets his girl, and he starts posting her like on his YouTube channel, and he's saying, you know, hey, this girl's different. You know, she ain't no club girl. She's not this girl. You know, she's a special girl. And as he started posting, other guys are like, huh? That's Nan. Man, I got smashed, Nan. And they just start showing all the video. I was with Nan here. She works here. She counted to me here. And so I think when we say the body count matters, like you said, maybe it's an ego thing that guys go through where their ego is fragile. And they say, oh, man. I mean, because I don't know. I don't know if I could be in his position, man. You know, because
the thing is, you have a lot of men who go to Sasua, who go to Cartagena, Medellin, Paqueras, Copacabana Beach, in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and they will marry working girls. A lot of these, and again, let's just be honest here. You have a lot of guys in the States who go to these countries and marry pros. So for them, they know that they're professionals. They know that. But they don't care. They just want that person. So for me, I can't judge that man because he wants to marry a pro. I mean, I remember one time I was driving through Sasua, going back to my crib. I see a dude getting married in Sasua, and he was marrying a bona fide pro. So it's just like at the end of the day, man, you know what? Listen, he found his peace. He found his little temporary happiness. Let him be. Let him be happy with it, man. Does the body count matters? I don't think it matters to that person. And so why should you care? So like when guys ask that stupid question, or you know, how many guys you slept with, man, does it fucking really matter? Does it really matter?
So do you think as long as she tells you she was a pro, is that good, or would you like to be posted?
be transparent as possible. Because at least I know what the situation I'm putting myself into. I think a lot of guys get embarrassed when there's no transparency happening. But to be honest, I think most guys don't care. I think all that shit is for social media. But in a practical world, a lot of dudes are marrying women with high body counts and they don't care. And when you marry someone, it's not based on body count. You're marrying based on emotions and feelings and shit like that. But I don't know, man. To me, I think this whole body count thing is stupid, especially at a certain age. You already know that she's been around the block. Look, I assume that if you're in your 30s, you probably still with 20 dudes already. It is what it is. That's my assumption.
So there's no specific number you say,
I mean, like I said, as long as your stuff ain't a goddamn tunnel, I'm good, man. It's like as long as you don't embarrass me, you don't put me on Front Street like that, where everybody know your first name and your birthmark on certain body parts, I'm good, man. But
so what about this? You say the body count doesn't matter, but does it matter her sexual conquest or experiences? Meaning she's like, oh yeah, I had that train ran on me, bro. Group sex? Man, I'm always going to the swinging club getting laid in.
Oh, I mean, it all boils down on your sexual appetite. You may be more of a conservative, missionary type of guy. Like, hey, I only do missionary, no oral sex. Versus me, I may be more of the swinger, group sex. Like, hey, chains and wax and type of stuff. So that may turn me on versus something that a woman that says that I don't give oral. That may turn me off. So it really all depends on that particular person's sexual appetite, man. Dude, there's a lot of, like, when we look at Puffy, there's a lot of sexual deviant out there, man. They don't care. It's just like, hey, I just want to get it in. So, it really boils down to person, man, because that high body count could be a baddie, a 10. Your ass will overlook that shit in a heartbeat. It's like, fuck it, man. Yo, she's doing all this. She's pleasing me. I'm happy. She's feeding me. I'm good. The house is cooked. It's clean. You don't care. Like,
I can't say that. I think guys don't care in the beginning because they happy to hit it. Like if you like a guy like that, I would get with a porno star.
At a certain point, most men do not give a fuck.
But
young men in their 20s, 25 and under, they care because it's an ego thing. After a certain point, it's no longer an ego thing. You just want to like, yo, she feeds me, she fucks me, I'm good. Mm-hmm. At a certain age in your life as a man, dude, you don't care about that shit. Like, yo, look, I come home to a clean house, food is ready at the table, she cooks and clean, fucks me good, sucks me good, I'm good. The young dude, that little young Thundercat, oh hell no, I gotta be the best one. I got the biggest dick in here. Like, bro, man, you know she's gonna go through other guys after you. You know that, right?
So
that's why you smile, though, because I'm speaking the truth. It's like,
no, I'm thinking like I've just been able to vet the women pretty good. I think everybody would probably lie. You're never gonna get the truth, but I think I can vet them and say, I can kind of tell. I don't think people's nature changes that much from when you meet them. So I can kind of say, maybe she was out there, maybe she was doing some crazy things. But I still would like somebody who's open. So, I guess you have to have some experience. I think go ahead.
Most guys don't want a conservative, closed-minded chick in the bedroom. They don't want that. Guys will literally cheat on their wives with that freaky chick.
No, but with that said, I think they do want it. I think they want, they want that wife that is conservative and not experience, but they want to cheat the whore.
Yeah, but cheat with a whore, so it kind of beats the purpose. Mm-hmm. It's just like you being disloyal now.
Yeah, I think this last clip is actually you right here. So this may be right along your alley.
Dudes who on they square and pursuing their business and walking in there and what they supposed to, them is not asking your body count.
So you're saying body count doesn't matter to a real man?
Body count matters to dudes who not in the count.
Ooh. Oh Lord! No, we didn't.
This has been tonight's conversation. That's what I'm I'm saying I've never met a man who's had the, and ladies, I'm not saying it's like y'all easy. I've never met a man who had the ability to actually be with the woman that he wanted. Because most dudes with the women they got access to, not the women they want. I don't know a lot of men who with the women they want, who be worried about who else she. I got money. I know the spots. I can take you wherever the rest of them niggas take you. I'm confident in what I got. I'm not worried about who else you with. Only a dude who not on his square is worried about community. I don't roll in the community.
There's the right ladies to dry yourselves up with.
Respectfully, I can say a Just Mike. I can say an Ace Metaphor. I'm looking at some of the nodding in the room. I don't even roll in the community that you was handing that out to. I don't. I'm not gonna run into the dudes that you with. The dudes who happy and want to point the finger like, oh, I f***ed her. That don't shop where I shop. He don't land where I land. Respectfully, it's not the same.
I mean, it's true though. It's true. I mean, for me to worry about your body count and all this shit, like, dude, I'm kind of past that stage in my life, man. Dude, I know I'm good. Yo, if we fuck, we're gonna have a good time. Exactly. We're gonna go out and have a good time. Now, if emotion actually start kicking in, all right, cool, let's talk. But as long as you ain't doing the OnlyFans thing, like that's my thing. You're not doing it as a career where you make money doing it, then I can't do it. But
wouldn't that be better if she doing OnlyFans? Because then she doing
no.
Let's say she doing OnlyFans where it's just her being nude. Where it's like I'm just nude, it's just me by myself.
No, I think for me, I think for me it's more because I like to take my woman with me wherever I go, and there's some level of privacy that I still want to keep, even though if I decide to become a swinger or whatever, that's still a level of privacy within the swinger community. But it's just like for you to put your business out there on a paid site, nah.
Yeah, I agree. If you want to get your freak on, you should do it. That's why I don't agree with the. I don't know how Cassie sued for that. How can you say you abused when you was out there doing it? That's another subject.
Yeah, that's a different subject, man. But it's kind of funny. A lot of guys want to go ahead and marry these conservative, very timid, sexual women, then go out there and cheat with a freaky deaky. Like they go out there and with a they go out there and just do the wildest thing with a freakazoid in Colombia and DR. But it's like, yo, but that's what she always wanted. So why you didn't just marry that?
Yeah,
here's the thing: they go cheat on their wives for that freakazoid. Come back home, get caught, go through the damn divorce process, child custody process, then be bitch and become bitter. But yet you caused that. You went out and cheat. You recorded that sex session that you kept on your phone and got caught. Now you're going through the whole divorce and child custody. Now you bitter. You caused that. Where's your accountability?
That's true. I mean, do you think? I think it's reversed. I've been seeing. I put up a video where I was saying body count, and I had 3 women comment, and they were saying they would meet a guy, and if he had a high body count, they weren't interested in it, which seemed kind of different. I guess women out there may feel that they don't want a man who's been out there, but I thought that was kind of different.
Well, here's the thing, like, women will assume that, I don't have a high body count, whatever. They think I'm like a square and shit. I'm like, boy, if you know my damn, like, but at the same time, I let them assume, like, yeah, I don't do nothing. I stay home, read my Bible and all that stuff. Yeah, you're right. But it's what it is, man. At the end of the day, like, does it count? I mean, does it really matter? It doesn't, man. Like Hugh Stevens said, I think the older you get, the more you just don't give a fuck. There you go. It's just like whatever, man. It's like, hey, my thing is about Bob. It's like, yo, if I'm overseas, I'm speaking some real shit right now. If I meet a chick, like, yo, listen, take 2 days off. I'm gonna pay you for your time. I'm gonna have a good time with you. If you do what I tell you to do, like, show me a good time in your country, in your city, and I'm good. The vibe is good, dude. I don't care. I'm enjoying the experience, man. I don't know what I don't know what a profession is back there. I don't know, but I'm just enjoying the moment. Like this whole body count shit is for niggas that's trying to get married, but most dudes don't want to get married.
Yeah.
They say they want to get married, but they don't want to get married, man. So the whole body count thing is more of an ego thing. That's what I think. I think it's a whole egocentric move to like make them think like, hey, yeah, I got the biggest dick or I got the best move. It doesn't work that way. Especially the older you get, you realize that shit don't matter. Because guess what? After she leaves you, she fucking somebody else.
Yeah, I think maybe the older you get, even the sex, you ain't even worried about that. You just like, I need peace, quiet, and a good kick.
Yeah, bro. Sometimes, man, give me a massage. I'm good. I'm going to sleep.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm good. It's like, hey, I don't need to do nothing else.
Man.
Bro, you had a wild show tonight, man.
It was crazy, man. I don't know what's going on. Next time I have to bring the wife on and have her defend me.
Hey, I was on mute laughing, man. I'm like, y'all crazy, man. It's like you and Jemiah, man.
Guys, we appreciate everyone for joining in. What we try to do is I know some people say the topics, there's no conclusion, but I don't think what we're trying to do is give you a conclusion. I try to find clips that give both sides of the view, whatever we're talking about, to give both sides of a story. And then we argue it, whether we like deep into it. To me, like, I don't really care about immigration, to be honest. I would like to see people come legally. Hey, I've had houses and I've hired some illegals. So, I guess I'm a hypocrite in that sense. But what we try to do is just give you both sides to the story. So we want you to just walk away and say, hey, maybe you changed your mind, or maybe you solidified your mind, but you can hear both sides and come to your own conclusion. We don't want to come to the conclusion for you. We just want to give you our opinion. What say you, Kanal?
What you said?
What say you about that? About the show, opinion.
Yeah, no. It was a great show. I love the fact that we had a variety of different topics, from immigration to single motherhood to body count. Great topic, guys. One thing we ask guys, we're trying to grow our channels, the Fearless Travel podcast channel, as well as Black Man Travels. All we ask guys is just support, like the videos, continue to be more engaging. And also too, if you decided, in super chat, either his channel or my channel, we greatly appreciate it. We're just trying to grow the channel, man. We're trying to grow our channels to another level. And great topic, man. It's just some real conversation, man. We definitely should open up to the panel, man. We should definitely have more of a panel discussion so we can let people talk to each other.
What I try to do is try to get like our story, get our opinion first, because once we bring the people in, our opinion kind of goes out the window.
I mean, did you bring someone up for the body count? I'd love to hear somebody else.
No, nobody showed up for the body count. If somebody wants to talk about body count, it may be I think Hugh Stevens. He liked them hoes, and it's Jay Clyde. Maybe he liked it, but I don't know if they sleep now. They might be asleep with a woman right now. They got the body count. They might be laying next to her. They don't know. They don't care. It might be late for them. Shoot, they just adding to the number.
Yeah, but overall, guys, support our channels, man, and it's gonna be every Friday. We're gonna try to continue to grow it and to find ways to make it more engaging and different topics, from travel, current events to work experiences. So,
and guys, it costs you absolutely nothing to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell, so every Friday when we go on live. It's free $99. Now, if you want to be like an immigrant and get stuff free, I'm giving it to you. A like, subscribe, and give us a comment. It's free.
Yeah.
All right, my brothers. Good night. We appreciate it. We hope that you tune in next week. Thank you for joining. And welcome to the Lions Den.